peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Aya, mpelekee maiki. Baba, hebu eleza baba, mna tatizo gani hapa?
Mimi naitwa Juma Abdalla Mpokuche. Kero yetu hapa sisi, soko letu bovu na choo kinachohudumu sokoni kimekuwa si kizuri, na kila saa tunafungiwa tu, na liko katika na ushuru tunalipa.
Na msimamizi wa soko ni nani?
Msimamizi wa soko nani mkurugenzi?
Mkurugenzi yuko hapa? Yuko hapa mkurugenzi? Kwa nini ushuru unakusanya na choo hujajenga na hela unakusanya za watu? Eleza ni kwa sababu gani mkurugenzi?
Mheshimiwa Rais, kweli tunasimamia soko lile. Kuna tatizo la choo pale sokoni. Tatizo linalotokana na
wewe huna choo kwako unakokaa.
People.
Unakaa maeneo hapa?
Ndio mkurugenzi.
Iko wapi nyumba yako?
Nimepanga hapo.
Basi niwaambie wa sokoni wao wanakuja chooni kwako, ili kusudi ujifunze namna ya kujenga choo hapa. Nakupa wiki moja, choo wewe umeshakijenga. Si unakusanya fedha?
Ndio.
Mapato yako ni kiasi gani hapa?
Hapa mapato kwa mwaka ni bilioni 1.8.
Sasa bilioni 1.8 umeshindwa kujenga choo hapa, hata kama ni cha maji. Unajua watu wangu siji wakoje. Kujenga choo kina cost kiasi gani?
Mheshimiwa Rais, choo tuko katika mkakati wa
mkakati mpaka utakakatika lini? Mpaka ukamalize hii kazi. Unasikia mkurugenzi, unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Dennis na kaimu.
Unakaimu? Nani mkurugenzi ambaye yuko hapa?
Mkurugenzi ameenda kwenye mkutano kwa ajili ya uchaguzi.
Maana yake ni sasa wewe si unakaimu?
Ndio.
Nataka hicho choo baada ya siku 7 kiwe kimekamilika.
Sawa mheshimiwa.
Na kisipokamilika mwambie huyo mkurugenzi andike barua ya kuacha kazi.
Sawa mheshimiwa.
Umenielewa?
Ndio mheshimiwa.
DC yuko wapi? Yuko hapa DC?
Yupo.
DC hayupo?
Yupo.
Njoo hapa DC. Wewe si ndio DC nimekupa hapa. Kwa nini watu wangu wanahangaika hata vyoo hawana?
Ni kweli, lakini wameanza kuchimba na maji yako karibu, na nimemwagiza mkurugenzi atekeleze.
Hili soko limeanza lini?
Hili soko lina muda mrefu, na
sasa muda mrefu wote watu hawaendi choo.
Choo kimekuwa
una nyumba hapa wewe DC?
Ndio mkuu.
Iko wapi?
Iko mtaa wa pili hapa.
Mtaa wa pili?
Ndio.
Kwa hiyo kwa siku hizi 7, mnanielewa ndugu zangu? Mtakuwa mnaenda kwa DC pamoja na kwa mkurugenzi kwenda kujisaidia. Kibiti oye! Kwa hiyo DC pamoja na mkurugenzi muwafungulia hawa watu wa sokoni, akibanwa aje hapo mpaka mtakapojua maana ya kujenga choo kwa ajili ya watu hawa. Haiwezekani nchi hii ikakosa choo. Mnakusanya bilioni 1.8. Kibiti oye! Kibiti oye! Choo oye! Choo oye! Kwa hiyo ndani ya siku 7 akibanwa pale mtu, na mimi niko very serious,
A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us today. This is The Punch, where we get to look at the news, the week that was, and what news made headlines across the week. And we do have so much that we got to look at this week, and we're still mourning the death of Tanzania's president, the late John Pombe Magufuli. And as we speak right now, any moment from now, Tanzania's Vice President Suluhu should be taking an oath of office office as the 6th President of the United Republic there of Tanzania. My name is Miriam Magutu. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in today. And before I bring in my panelists, I'd like to bring us up to date with the COVID statistics in the country. And the confirmed cases in Kenya this morning stands at 117,535 cases. The death toll is 1,954. And recovery so far is 89,203. Uganda cases stands at 40,625. The death toll is 334. Recoveries is 15,110. And then we go to the total cases in Africa this morning is 3,051,700. And the people who have died is 101,015 cases. Recovery so far is 2,717,117 cases there in the continent, and the global statistics have surpassed 122 million cases there worldwide. So those are worrying statistics, and we continue to urge you, wherever you are, to take all the necessary precautions to ensure that you're safe. Very basic things: wash your hands, sanitize, social distance, and most importantly, wear your mask anytime you're out there in public so that you're able to protect yourself. And if you don't want to protect yourself, just do it for the people that you love. All right? Thank you so much. So on the panel this morning, I'm joined by Musa Abdi Haji, all the way from Isiolo County. Musa, very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me. Actually, today in the morning, I'm beyond Isiolo. I'm a bit between the border of Wajir and Isiolo. I'm really out of network, but I'm happy to be back.
So where do you call that? Where do you call the place?
It's a place called Habaswein, which is a boundary between Isiolo County and Wajir County. Approximately, let's say, 700 kilometers from Nairobi.
Very well. So I'll just say you're joining us from the northeastern part of the country. That will do it. I don't think I'll remember that name. But thank you so much for having me. We missed you yesterday while we were eulogizing Tanzania's president. But we shall continue with this, news, because it's still making headline. And even on our leading newspapers, Magufuli's legacy is what we see here. And also we're joined by Professor Jared Onyari from Nairobi. Professor, very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Miriam. Musa, our viewers from wherever they are this morning and evening. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. You look like you want to go for a safari, a safari drive there. Nice to see you. It's Friday. Nice to see you. All right. So I'll quickly read through the headlines and then we'll get into our topics. Remember, this is the week that was, and we shall look at the topics that made headlines, the stories that made headlines. And of course, the top story this week is on the death of Tanzania's President John Pombe Magufuli. And of course, earlier in the week, the Kenya-Somalia Maritime boundaries dispute. A case started there at the International Court of Justice. Remember, Kenya withdrew from being part of that case, and so it started without the participation of Kenya. And so we will look at so far what is really happening there and what that means. And also this week, the leadership in Jubilee Party voted to remove Deputy President William Ruto as the party vice chairman, but it has to go to the top leadership there, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has to append, in agreement to that, for that to be made a reality there. So we shall look at that. And also IEBC, during a public participation in Parliament on the BBI, the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, IEBC Chairperson Wafula Chebukati came out and said, you know what, whatever BBI is trying to achieve there in terms of boundaries is illegal, and so he faulted BBI for that. So we shall look at exactly what Chebukati said and what that might mean to the BBI process. All right. On the Daily Nation, the front page is there, Magufuli, the legacy. So they outline it. I will not read it because we shall go through it. And then on the side there, TSC plans mass transfer of teachers. On the side, Kibicho on BBI, I work for president. And then shame of Makupa Causeway vandals. At least 20 meters of the steel beams supporting the bridge from below have been cut on one section. That is very dangerous there. And we turn our attention to the Standard newspaper, and the main headline there is tragic tale of Magufuli, from the boy who strutted his small frame on the shores of Lake Victoria to the bullish man who bestrode Tanzania like a Colossus, dishing out instant justice. John Pombe Magufuli was a contradiction in terms, admired by his people but loathed abroad. He fit the description of a hero and villain merged into one. The world mourns a man who sacrificed science for pride. All right, now the Standard newspaper. Okay, and then on the Star newspaper, Magufuli's last prayer. President John Pombe Magufuli died Wednesday, aged 61, from a heart condition after more than 5 years of divisive authoritarian rule, made worse by his refusal to take COVID-19 seriously. Kenyan newspapers this morning, they have no chills at all. And then on the side there, coronavirus, 4 MPs fighting for their lives in hospitals, and then 4 MPs who apparently have coronavirus in the country. See, we need to speak about this thing. Kenyans are still not taking it very seriously out there. And then NLC staff Jennifer was strangled with hands, autopsy now shows. All right, so that is what we have on the headlines this morning. So I think we will start with looking at President John Pombe Magufuli's legacy there. And Musa, I'll start with you because you were not with us here yesterday. How would you remember President John Pombe Magufuli?
Thank you so much, Miriam, for the time. And I would like to pass my condolences to all the Tanzanians and the larger Ujamaa fraternity for the loss of a great leader. And Miriam, as far as President John Pombe Magufuli is concerned, you know, I'm one of the critical followers and the proponents of the Ujamaa system. I'm a socialist. I've been admiring, and really Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere has really influenced what I've been doing in partial, you know, part of my life. And when I heard that President John Pombe Magufuli has really passed away, it really meant a great loss for me, and I know for some of the folks, I know, because this was the man whom wherever he went ensured that the interest of the Tanzanians and their culture, Miriam, and especially their identity. Remember, Miriam, this is a country, that is the Republic of Tanzania, which, Miriam, has a pride of speaking Kiswahili as the official language, official business language, Miriam, of their country. And that is the narrative that I know a country like Kenya is trying to deviate from. A country, you know, which are Anglophones and Francophones are not, you know.
Hassan, na hapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitaihifadhi, nitailinda na kuitetea Katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie. Mimi Samia Suluhu Hassan naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa uaminifu na kutimiza wajibu wa kazi hizo kwa bidii na moyo mkunjufu, na kwamba nitawatendea haki watu wote kwa mujibu wa sheria, mila na desturi za Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania bila woga, upendeleo, huba wala chuki. Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie. Mimi Samia Suluhu Hassan naapa kwamba katika kutekeleza madaraka niliyopewa kwa mujibu wa Katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, nitatetea na kudumisha umoja wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa mujibu wa Katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
msiba wa Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, rais wa Muungano wa Tanzania, ambaye amehudumu kwa kipindi cha takribani miaka 5.5 hivi kuelekea miaka 6, ambaye alifariki dunia katika hospitali ya Mzena iliyopo Kinondoni.
Mheshimiwa Samia Suluhu Hassan, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Baada ya kiapo, kinachofuata sasa ni taratibu za kijeshi, na nakuomba sasa tuelekee sehemu iliyoandaliwa. Naomba viongozi wote tulipo hapa tutabaki, isipokuwa meza kuu pamoja na viongozi walioteuliwa wa vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama ambao wataambatana na Mheshimiwa Rais kwenda kwenye itifaki ya kijeshi. Karibu Mheshimiwa Rais.
Ambaye ule si mrefu kutoka sasa hivi sasa ameingia hapa. Profesa Ibrahim Juma hivi sasa ametoka kwa ajili ya kuelekea kwenye gwaride, na huko
hivi sasa ambapo tunaona tayari.
Haya, mpelekee maiki. Baba, hebu eleza baba, mna tatizo gani hapa?
Mimi naitwa Juma Abdalla Mpokuche. Kero yetu hapa sisi, soko letu bovu na choo kinachohudumu sokoni kimekuwa si kizuri, na kila saa tunafungiwa tu, na liko katika na ushuru tunalipa.
Na msimamizi wa soko ni nani?
Mheshimiwa Rais na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu, gwaride rasmi lililoandaliwa na Jeshi la Ulinzi la Wananchi wa Tanzania kwa ajili ya kuapisha lipo tayari kwa ukaguzi wako Mheshimiwa Rais.
Mtazamaji wa TBC1 ni Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
All right, very well. That's proceedings from the Tanzania there. The State House in Dar es Salaam there in Tanzania, where now Tanzania has a new president, their 6th president, President Samia Suluhu Hassan. This is after the death of President John Pombe Magufuli that was announced on Wednesday by the then Vice President, Madam Samia Suluhu Hassan. So now she is the president there. She took her oath of office and she had her first guard of honor there. Congratulations to Tanzania there for their new president, of course, in the middle of still mourning their president who is yet to be buried. I'm sure now from there we can know the plans, the funeral plans and arrangements, and I'm sure she will tell us now, the government will tell us what will be happening from there moving forward. And as I said there earlier, and we continue to say our sincere condolences to the people of Tanzania and of course to the family of the late President John Pombe Magufuli. So before I interrupted Musa and I took us live there to Tanzania, Musa was making his remarks on how he will be, the legacy that he thinks John Magufuli will be remembered on. And so I don't know if Musa, you're still there and you'll continue with your point before I interrupted you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miriam. And in making my humble submission, and you've asked me a very simple question on the legacy of President John Pombe Magufuli. And my simple answer, Miriam, is that John Pombe Magufuli has been continuing to extend what Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere initiated in uniting the country, Miriam. Remember what Kenya is now struggling to do in, the BBI process of, establishing national ethos and, eradicating ethnicity. This is what was achieved by Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere over 50 years ago, Miriam, when he united 122 ethnic groups and making them one Tanzania, identifying them as Watanzania, Miriam, and under one language. And whatever you saw today is a true embodiment, Miriam, of what we call a country with a pure cultural and African identity, Miriam. Remember, President John Pombe Magufuli is a Christian, but now the person taking over, Madam Samia Suluhu, is a Muslim, Miriam. And look at that beauty, the beauty of religious tolerance in the country of Tanzania. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was a Christian, Benjamin Mkapa was a Christian, Ali Hassan Mwinyi was a Muslim, Jakaya Kikwete was a Muslim, and now the very strong, may God rest his soul in peace, George Pombe Magufuli, Miriam, was a Christian. There is high sense of religious tolerance which Mwalimu Julius Nyerere left behind. And Tanzanians, one thing I've really learned about them is that sense of humility. They love who they are. I know Ujamaa really made strong sense in them. And finally, Miriam, I know the West will call him, the Kenyan newspapers have no chills of calling this man all sort of calling him bully, but I will call Dr. Joseph Pombe Magufuli a man who lived in our time, Miriam. Remember Tanzania, when he came in, Tanzania was in poverty. Tanzania was really struggling with the economy, Miriam. Adding the second and the third terminals to the international airport, Miriam, he procured electric railway line, Miriam, at a tune of 108 billion. While I don't know how we procured one, the one for Kenya, which was 308 billion, and it was diesel. This is a man, Miriam, who ensured wherever he goes. I know there are some questionable issues of human rights people are speaking about him, but one thing I will never forget Dr. Joseph Pombe Magufuli for is that the public servants were truly public servants. He made it clear to the Tanzanians that if you are coming to serve the Republic of Tanzania, it is a calling, it is not a place of making money, it is not a place of making millions, Miriam. And as he departs, one of the legacies I will also remember him for is the language of Kiswahili, Miriam, which is now being made a national language in South Africa. The process has already been completed. The same is happening with Rwanda, Miriam. Dr. Joseph Pombe Magufuli ensured that at least in a way of uniting the East African community, in a way of uniting the great African community, the Kiswahili language is going to play a very pivotal role, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Musa. And one of our viewers there used to be our ardent viewer, Sylvester Kijingo, but he disappeared. But today he appeared, and this is what he's saying, Dr. Matanga, who will be joining us very soon, by the way. And Miriam, how are you all? I miss your show for quite a year now. Our continent is mourning the death of Dr. Magufuli. We are in Dar es Salaam arranging for the coming of President Samia. Thank you, Punchline Africa, for standing with us in this difficult time. Yes, indeed, Sylvester, and our prayers are with the people of Tanzania there. Professor, the legacy of President John Pombe Magufuli.
Yeah, Miriam, I will still continue sending my sympathies and condolences to the people of Tanzania and the people of Africa. You know, Miriam, death is an enemy. It separates us with our loved ones. You will say all about the late John Pombe Magufuli, that in life we are two sides of a coin, Miriam. There is your good side and your bad side. On the good side, Miriam, to some Tanzanian, John Magufuli was a great leader. He detested the corruption. He ensured that the public officers served people. I saw in Miriam one day that he would even go to a church and harm himself as a president, Miriam, and correct tithes, the work which is being done by the deacons in a church, Miriam. In terms of Africa, Miriam, he was also a good leader. He stood what was right for the continent. He spoke his mind. Even the COVID thing, we castigate him, Miriam. You know, the world is fighting the pandemic, which we don't know its history. Some people sat elsewhere, and we have not even been given an explanation. That's where it's coming from. That if it's not, he has not understood something. He could not be for it, Miriam. So, Miriam, I'm happy because now the people of Tanzania, you know, the systems and institutions are in place. Succession has been done very, very successfully, Miriam. And, you know, now Madam President Samia has taken over, Miriam, and the gesture that you could see Pombe Magufuli appointing a woman as his principal assistant. Then you could say he's a man who believes in gender equality. He's a man who believes that, Miriam, again, that people should be given opportunity. I've liked the way Musa also said that Samia is a Muslim and Magufuli was a Christian. And you see how they would brand Miriam, and as Musa has rightly put it, Miriam, that Mwalimu gave a very good foundation of Tanzania. He's the only leader, Miriam, I know, Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, who could come openly and say, yes, I started with Jamaa, which Musa is talking about. It's a lover of it, but remember, Musa, that is a system which did not work. So you don't go and admire a system which did not work. And his architect, he said, is sorry that he came out with that. But be it as it may, it united the people of Tanzania. There are so many tribes there. They don't see each other. And Tanzanian is being given an opportunity, Miriam, regardless which tribe you come from, you can ascend the throne. So on that, Miriam, let us continue mourning Magufuli, President Magufuli, Miriam. I know I'm a Christian. I believe in resurrection, Miriam. We will meet at the feet of Jesus at the resurrection morning. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. So now the Daily Nation has a very interesting story on the front pages there, in line with the passing of the Tanzania President John Pombe Magufuli, and there they say head of state last moment. A president was flown back to Dar es Salaam from Nairobi last week while on life support. So the story is on page 4 of the Daily Nation. And it says Tanzanian President John Magufuli was discharged from Nairobi Hospital while on life support and flown to Dar es Salaam late last week after doctors concluded that he could not be resuscitated, the nation has established. So the president, who was flown to Kenya secretly on March 8th after suffering acute cardiac and respiratory illness, was under intubation when a decision was made to fly him back home. Magufuli's entry and exit from Kenya was a guarded affair that only selected National Intelligence Service officials and members of the National Security Advisory Committee were aware of. Are we surprised of these new revelations here by the Daily Nation, even as we look at the legacy of the late President Magufuli? Douglas?
Miriam, thank you for having me on the show, and thank you for that question. For Magufuli to come to Nairobi for hospital and all that, Miriam, everyone can get sick. We have had the Kenyan president also seek treatment abroad. So for me, I sympathize with Magufuli in the dying days of his administration. Magufuli was a secret person. When he was a postgraduate student at the University of Dar es Salaam, they were fundraising and sending money to sustain him and also help him go to England for some surgery. The same problem that has been able to take his life. Magufuli in 2019 was also under another surgery. So Miriam, this was a very secret man. And in Africa, we don't speak ill of people when they are sick. What they should have done is that they should have come very openly and told the people of Tanzania Magufuli is sick. Magufuli was a secret person. Everyone that knew the life and times of John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, the former president of Tanzania, knew that Magufuli was a secret man. So they would have said that at least for the purposes of clarity, so that the opposition and the NGOs in Tanzania cannot take advantage of that
situation. True. I totally agree with you, Douglas, there. And I don't know if you're done. I'm making a point, but I'll still come back to you. I want to go to Javan. Now, the story continues. Sources say he died at Mzena Hospital shortly after arrival on Thursday last week, contradicting the Tanzanian government's official account of the death occurring on Wednesday this week. And I really don't want to get into the politics of this. Maybe we'll do that later on. But let's just keep on the legacy of the late Pombe Magufuli and now these revelations here. Javan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam. And we are still mourning a gallant son of soil who has departed from this good world. One thing, Miriam, the information that the Daily Nation are sharing, maybe it was information that was free-filled to Kenyans through social media. And
no, the Daily Nation is saying this is not rumors that they have established. So they're saying whatever they're saying is factual. They have established.
If they have verified the information, then the rumors have been confirmed to be true that Magufuli was in Kenya, and I think they did a very now I support that secrecy of not allowing the public to know of what was happening, because Miriam, if any kind of misfortune could have happened to Magufuli in Kenya, Miriam, I don't think we could have been having a kind of a bitter kind of relationship that we Kenyans and Tanzania, to some extent, we already have. We saw what Magufuli treated Kenyans when the COVID-19 was rampant in our country, and he denied even our truck drivers to get to the country. Therefore, Miriam, that was a good move, and sometimes some information need to be hidden from the public for various reasons, especially intelligence and security information that can hamper or can ignite the public reactions. All said and done, Miriam, the legacy, one thing that Dr. John Joseph Magufuli have done quite exemplarily well is the fight against corruption. These are menace in African countries that is really ravaging the economies in many Africa countries. But President John Magufuli ensured that he fought corruption in all government institutions to a point where He reduced the number of cabinet secretary. He suspended, he fired some of his officials. That to me was a very good example. He set the bar too high, and the Africa leaders should emulate that and ensure corruption in public service is a word of the past. And that is how Magufuli has been able to transform the development agenda in Tanzania. Because Miriam, when you curb corruption, there are a lot of resources that comes in that are saved and they are channeled towards development. I see that as a very good move that other African leaders should emulate and ensure that they take development to their people and curb corruption. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we will continue with this conversation. But right now, I'd like for us to go straight back to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and have a listen in to.
Ndugu wa Tanzania wenzangu, leo si siku nzuri sana kwangu ya kuhutubia taifa, maana nimeelemewa na kidonda kikubwa kwenye moyo wangu na mzigo mkubwa mabegani kwangu. Kiapo nilichokula leo, tofauti na viapo vyote nilivyowahi kula katika maisha yangu, tofauti na viapo vya awali ambavyo nilivila kwa faraja, nderemo, vifijo na bashasha tele. Leo nimekula kiapo cha juu kabisa katika nchi yetu adhimu Tanzania, nikiwa na majonzi tele na nchi ikiwa imetandwa na wingu jeusi la simanzi kubwa. Nimekula kiapo katika siku ya maombolezo. Kwa ajili hiyo mtaniwia radhi. Kwa nitaongea kwa uchache na kwa ufupi sana. Tutatafuta wasaa mwingine hapo baadaye, tuzungumze, tukumbushane na tuwekane sawa juu ya mambo mengi yanayohusu taifa letu na mustakabali wake na matarajio yetu ya siku za usoni. Mniruhusu basi leo niseme machache sana kama ifuatavyo. Ndugu wananchi, mtakumbuka tarehe 17 Machi nikiwa Tanga, kwa mara ya kwanza nilipata fursa kulihutubia taifa katika hali ya udharura na kutoa taarifa ya kifo cha mpendwa wetu. Nilitumia fursa ile kuwajulisha juu ya msiba mkubwa uliofikia nchi yetu kwa kuondokewa na aliyekuwa rais wetu mpendwa na amiri jeshi wetu mkuu, Mheshimiwa Dr. John Pombe Magufuli. Nikiri kuwa si jambo ambalo nilikuwa nimejiandaa nalo wala kulitazamia. Ni jambo ambalo hatujawahi hata kuwa na uzoefu nalo wala rejea nalo katika historia ya nchi yetu. Ni kwa mara ya kwanza tumekuwa na mazingira ya aina hii ambayo tumempoteza rais wa nchi akiwa madarakani. Ni mara ya kwanza pia kwa aliyekuwa makamu wa rais kuwapa kuwa rais katika mazingira ya aina hii. Ndugu viongozi na ndugu wananchi, nichukua fursa hii kwa mara nyingine tena kutoa rambirambi zangu za dhati kwa Mama Janet Magufuli, mjane wa hayati Mheshimiwa Rais John Pombe Magufuli, lakini pia Mama Susan Magufuli, mama mzazi wa marehemu Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, watoto na familia, ndugu jamaa na marafiki, kwa kuondokewa na kipenzi chao na mhimili muhimu wa familia. Natambua ukubwa wa ombwe ambalo ameliacha katika familia. Nitumie fursa hii kuhakikishia kuwa tunaungana nao katika kipindi hiki kigumu cha majonzi na kuahidi kuendelea kuwashika mkono na kuwafariji. Tunawaombea kwa Mwenyezi Mungu awape moyo wa subira na ustahimilivu katika kipindi hiki kigumu. Si jambo jepesi wala si jambo rahisi. Natoa pia salamu zangu za rambirambi kwa wananchi wote wa Tanzania kwa pigo hili kubwa. Ni msiba mzito na ambao hatukutarajia. Sote tunafahamu namna hayati Rais Magufuli alivyoipenda nchi hii na alivyojitoa kuwatumikia watu wake. Sote tulishuhudia kiu, dhamira na nia yake njema na ya dhati ya kutaka kuibadili nchi yetu na kuipatia mafanikio makubwa. Sote ni mashahidi wa namna ambavyo ameweza kuibadili taswira ya nchi kwa vitendo na kwa utendaji wake imara usiotikisika wala kuyumbishwa, huku muda wote akimtanguliza Mungu mbele. Sote tulisikia matamanio na maono yake makubwa kwa nchi hii aliyotafsiri katika mipango, mikakati na ujenzi wa miradi mikubwa. Mimi nilipata bahati ya kuwa makamo wake. Alikuwa ni kiongozi asiyechoka kufundisha, kuelekeza kwa vitendo vipi anataka nchi hii iwe au nini kifanyike. Amenifundisha mengi, amenilea na kuniandaa vya kutosha. Naweza kusema bila chembe ya shaka kuwa tumepoteza kiongozi shupavu, madhubuti, mzalendo, mwenye maono, mpenda maendeleo, mwanamwema wa bara la Afrika na mwana mapinduzi wa kweli. Mheshimiwa Magufuli alikuwa chachu ya mabadiliko. Kwa kweli tumepwelea kwa kuondokewa na kiongozi wetu huyu. Hatuna cha kusema zaidi ya kusema raha ya milele umpe Bwana, na mwanga wa milele umwangazie, apumzike kwa amani. Na kwa sisi Waislamu tuseme inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. Ndugu viongozi na ndugu wananchi, niwaombe Watanzania tuwe na moyo wa subra, tujenge umoja na mshikamano katika kipindi hiki kigumu. Niwahakikishie kuwa tuko imara kama taifa, na sisi viongozi wenu tumejipanga vizuri kuhakikisha kuwa tunaendelea pale mwenzetu alipoishia. Tunayo katiba ambayo nimeapa kuilinda na kuisimamia, ambayo imebainisha vizuri hatua za kufuata pale inapotokea tukio kama hili la kumpoteza rais akiwa madarakani. Isitoshe, nchi yetu inayo hazina nzuri ya uongozi na misingi imara ya utaifa, udugu, umoja na ustahimilivu na nidhamu ya vyombo vyetu vya ulinzi na usalama iliyojengwa na viongozi waliotutangulia, kwa kuanzia na waasisi wetu hayati baba wa taifa Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere na hayati mzee wetu Sheikh Abeid Amani Karume. Pamoja nao ni maraisi waliostaafu na waliofuatia, wakifuatiwa na mpendwa wetu hayati Rais Magufuli. Niwahakikishie kuwa hakuna jambo litakaloharibika. Ndugu viongozi na ndugu wananchi, kabla sijamaliza, nitumie fursa hii kuwashukuru viongozi wa mihimili yetu muhimu ya Bunge na Mahakama kwa mshikamano walioonyesha katika kipindi hiki. Nimshukuru Mheshimiwa Hussein Ali Hassan Mwinyi, Rais wa Zanzibar na mwenyekiti wa Baraza la Mapinduzi, na mihimili yake yote kwa kuwa nami bega kwa bega katika kipindi hiki kigumu. Aidha, nawashukuru pia wenzangu katika serikali wakiongozwa na Waziri Mkuu Mheshimiwa Kassim Majaliwa kwa ushiriki wao katika kusimamia kipindi hiki cha mpito. Niwashukuru pia wakuu wa vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama kwa kutekeleza wajibu wao ipasavyo chini ya katiba yetu kwa kuhakikisha nchi yetu inaenda kuwa ya amani na utulivu. Niwashukuru viongozi wa dini kwa kuendelea kuliombea taifa letu katika kipindi hiki kigumu. Kipekee nikishukuru chama changu, Chama cha Mapinduzi, kwa ukomavu wake na uongozi wake madhubuti ambao ndio msingi wa kuwezesha mabadiliko haya ya uongozi kwa amani na utulivu. Nitumie fursa hii pia kuwashukuru ndugu zetu wa vyama vya upinzani kwa salamu zao za kunitia nguvu, faraja na mshikamano walizokuwa wakinifikishia mara tu baada ya kutangaza taarifa za msiba huu mkubwa. Katika muktadha huo huo, niwashukuru viongozi wenzangu kutoka nchi jirani na nchi rafiki duniani kote waliotufikishia salamu za rambirambi kutokana na msiba huu mzito. Vile vile nivishukuru vyombo vyetu vyote vya habari ambao wamekuwa wakirusha matokeo yote mubashara, bila kuwasahau wasanii wetu ambao wametunga tungo na nyimbo mbalimbali za faraja. Na mwisho, japo si kwa umuhimu, nishukuru familia yangu, hususan mume wangu, watoto wangu wapendwa, ndugu, jamaa, marafiki, pamoja na ofisi ya makamu wa rais kwa kunitia nguvu na kunifariji katika nyakati hizi ngumu. Ndugu viongozi na ndugu wananchi, kabla sikuhitimisha, naomba niwaase ndugu zangu wa Tanzania kusimama pamoja na kushikamana katika kipindi hiki cha maombolezo. Huu ni wakati wa kuzika tofauti zetu na kuwa wamoja kama taifa. Ni wakati wa kufarijiana, kuoneshana upendo, udugu wetu, kudumisha amani yetu, kuenzi utu wetu, uzalendo wetu na utanzania wetu. Huu si wakati wa kutazama mbele kwa mashaka, bali ni wakati wa kutazama mbele kwa matumaini na kujiamini. Si wakati wa kutazama yaliyopita, bali ni wakati wa kutazama yajayo. Si wakati wa kunyosheana vidole, bali ni wakati wa kushikana mikono na kusonga mbele. Ni wakati wa kufutana machozi na kufarijiana ili tuweke nguvu zetu za pamoja kujenga Tanzania mpya ambayo mpendwa wetu Rais Magufuli aliitamani. Kama nilivyotangulia kusema awali, leo ni siku ya kusema, si siku ya kusema sana. Ni wakati wa kuomboleza na kutafakari yale yote mema aliyotufanyia mpendwa wetu, kipenzi chetu na aliyekuwa rais wetu hayati Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli. Zaidi, tuungane sote kumwombea kwa Mwenyezi Mungu ampumzishe roho yake mahala pema peponi. Amen. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Those are live pictures from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where the new president, the 6th president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, is addressing the nation for the first time in her capacity as the president. She just took the oath of office a few moments ago there, and this is after the death of the late President John Pombe Magufuli. I'll go straight to Tawish Samuel because we were looking at the legacy of President Magufuli. How will you remember him? Tawish? All right, so I take it Samuel Tawish is not here with us, but I'm sure he will be joining very, very shortly, and then we will get his opinion before we move to other stories. So as we wait for that, maybe we look at the other stories that we had today, and it's very difficult, and this is one of the prominent news that we have today. And we shall continue to update you from the news, the information I'm receiving right now. The funeral arrangement, or rather the burial date, has been set for 25th, and on 20th, the government officials will pay their respect. That is tomorrow. And then on 21st, his body will be laid in public in Dar es Salaam. On 22nd, in Dodoma. On 23rd, in Chato. Remember, that is his birthplace. And on 4th, the family will have a private moment with it, and then he shall be buried on 25th. So those are the reports that we are receiving there. In case there's any changes to that, we will let you know, but that is what we have right now. So I would we'll just move on to our next item on the list this morning, and that is the ouster from Jubilee of DP Ruto. From what we have heard this week, I don't know if we did that story, but it was on the Star newspaper yesterday, so let's just take a look at it. I know it just feels weird. Okay, so that was the main headline on the Star newspaper yesterday. JP NEC set to kick out DP Ruto on Tuesday. That was, I think, next week. And it reads, President Uhuru Kenyatta has launched a fresh political scheme to vanquish DP William Ruto ahead of the next general election. Ruto could be kicked out at Jubilee as Jubilee deputy party leader next Tuesday. The details emerged just a day after Uhuru chaired a critical meeting that saw Maendeleo Chap candidate withdraw today from yesterday's Machakos senatorial race. The strategy is to ensure Ruto's UDA candidate is beaten in an elaborate strategy to contain his influence. And can we just talk about the elections that happened yesterday in Machakos that we did not get to take a look at because, of course, we were covering the sudden death there of Tanzania's president. And, of course, the results that we're getting right now is that Wiper, a candidate, Madam Kavindu there, is the one who is set to win that seat. Professor, this is not good for UDA.
Miriam, you know, as I do, the politics of this country, Miriam. is far away from the politics we have been discussing a while ago. Even Musa was giving an input that it's not like Tanzania. This is the politics of the kingpin, Miriam, of the regions, Miriam. And again, Miriam, is that you cannot go to Kambani even if you don't like Kalonzo Musyoka and Miriam, and you start humiliating him. He, of course, gets unnecessary sympathy votes. And even Miriam, Kavindu was still the wife, or is still the wife for Johnston Mtama, Miriam. You saw even the way the children were coming to the public to castigate the mom, Miriam. Families don't do that. And because of that, it whipped some emotions, Miriam. Even they were almost fighting in a church. Did you say that?
I remember.
So Miriam,
trying to mediate,
and of course, there's a basis I want to build that, Miriam, that the way the United Democratic Alliance Youth is doing its campaign, the way they are trying to do their things, Miriam, they do things with emotions. They do things with emotions. They want to revenge instantly, Miriam. And if, Miriam, you belong to this category, you won't go far. And you are here to see. You are here to see. Okay. Katuku was a strong candidate, but when you want to come and humiliate people and just stamp, Miriam, you saw what happened in Msambweni. You know what happened in Msambweni, Miriam. You know how they came out bragging. So on this, Miriam, the gods are not with them, and let us watch this space. Let us watch this space. They are being ambitious. They are being ambitious. That's what I have to say.
And what do you make of the plans, Professor, that we hear now of wanting to remove Ruto as the deputy chairperson of Jubilee Party?
Miriam, one of the things I say that this conversation was started by my comrade Francis Atwoli in Mururu when we were reading Mama Hana.
Yes.
He said, "Hii chama gani haina sheria za kudiscipline watu." I came and retaliated here, Miriam, and I've said that institutions, homes, organizations, Miriam, I've got rules, and you have to abide. You have to abide, and that's what I said. And I said here that when you contest, Miriam, I've contested another party. You sign some code of conduct, Miriam, on how you are going to behave. You will support the party. You will promote the party. You vote financially, morally, and otherwise. And Miriam, you have seen what the deputy president and his team, men of the Tangatanga, they insulted the president, Miriam. They just talk to a president as if he's a small boy. Miriam, that one does not act very well. Does not act well. And Miriam, here you associate yourself with people wearing a different outfit. Jubilee is red. You are with the yellow t-shirts, Miriam, yellow colors, Miriam. From where I sit, nobody has kicked the deputy president, Dr. Samoei William Ruto. It is himself who has kicked himself out. And what we are trying to do, Jubilee is trying to do the formalities of just disposing, saying, "Hey, guy, go and do what you feel you can do best," so that he leaves Jubilee to do its thing. Remember how the members of parliament from the Tangatanga wing were saying they were going to deny the party contribution. They will do it, and I like the vice chairman Murade, David Murade. He said there, because you sign code of conduct, you will support the party, you will be monthly deductions. You can't reach midway and you start doing other things. So come Tuesday, from where I sit, they have followed all the processes. Not even the Supreme Court or God can help William Ruto now, unless he goes back and says, "This is the boss, I'm sorry, we can continue this channel together. I believe in forgiveness and reconciliation." If he has got that gesture, we can move on. But as things are now, the writings are on the wall, Miriam, that his days in Jubilee are numbered. And come watch this space. By Tuesday, we are divorcing with him.
Okay, so now the Star has established that the president could next week hold a virtual meeting with the Jubilee National Executive Committee that will seal Ruto's fate and remove him from deputy party leader position. Jubilee Secretary General Raphael Tuju confirmed that indeed Ruto's removal was an issue that must be addressed by a NEC meeting chaired by President, but declined to reveal the schedule. Let's just say this meeting happens and he's removed. What do you think are the other option Deputy President has? Because his supporters have come out and said, you know, that will not affect his position as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, but he's there because of the virtue of him being the deputy chair of Jubilee Party that accorded him the deputy presidency. I don't know, that is how Jubilee. So will that affect his position as the deputy president, or what other options does the DP have, Tawish?
Very well, thank you so much, Miriam, and the entire panelists who have actually made their contribution in this program. And just right to your question, Miriam, I mean, like Professor Onyari has put it, the die is cast for Deputy President William Ruto. Now that as per the Constitution and as per the Jubilee governing Constitution, maybe the Deputy President may not necessarily lose his position as Deputy President, much as is going to lose the Deputy Party Leader position. But you see, there's an aspect of morality. There's an aspect of moral standing. Where can he really come? How can he really come out outrightly and say, or confidently and say, he's still the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya when he has been de-whipped from being the Deputy Party Leader, by which virtue he was elected through the same party. So, Miriam, I think for Deputy President William Ruto, it will actually augur well if he chose to say resign as the Deputy President as well, and concentrate on building his ambition, concentrate on marketing his ambition ahead of 2022 general election, because again, he's come out clearly as though he's held back by Jubilee Party, he's held back by this position of being the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and therefore he feels he should be let loose for him to go and concentrate on his presidential ambition. So therefore, this is the opportune moment for him. He's been running up and down, hurling insults, of course, through proxies, and sometimes you can clearly tell that these people are speaking for him. They're not speaking just from a vacuum, they're speaking for Deputy President William Ruto. They have been undermining the president from the time he was sworn in, especially for the second term. So I would say that this is the moment for Deputy President William Ruto actually to prove the country that is a man of that metal that he's been talking about. That is the man of the moment that he's been actually talking about, for him to come out and decide to resign and therefore pursue his course of actually contesting 2022 presidential election, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. And the story is on page 6 of the Standard.
Miriam, before you bring another candidate, I want to build on what
Tawish has said.
Miriam. Miriam, the tree is being held by the roots. If you cut the roots, what happens? The tree falls down. Miriam, even if it's not going to resign, I know Kenya is a country of litigation. I know that Tawish tomorrow is going to go to court and have it being interpreted. If the party which sponsored you does not have any faith in you, what happens? Remember Kindiki, the deputy speaker, Miriam, a very brilliant man. You watch how the debate was in the Senate. Every Senate was for him. But Miriam, when on the final conclusion, they will say, there's nothing they will do if the party which nominated your name here does not have faith in you. So I agree with Tawish that what only remains here that after Tuesday, the deputy president to take the paper and write a letter and say I resign. Okay. He concentrates. Come 2022, the gods are on his side, he becomes the president of this country.
Yeah, and before he resigns, there's something here. Of course, the government has not confirmed, or the Jubilee top leadership there has not confirmed, but the Star is saying that Jubilee officials are now saying the writings on the wall and the DP could be ejected out of the current office. And responding to claims by Ruto's allies that the Jubilee Constitution is silent on the procedure of removing the deputy party leader, Tuju said, while that could be the case, NEC enjoys sweeping powers. So what is likely to happen there next week, Douglas?
Miriam, for Deputy President William Ruto, I've said before, and I will repeat myself on the same. I have pronounced myself in terms of the law. Miriam, there is no camouflage that we can be able to bring for the law. And the law is the law, everywhere. The rule of law requires William Ruto to be obedient and loyal to their party, the ruling party, Jubilee Party. And we cannot be able to give William Ruto a mandate that is not given by the party. No matter how far wrong we love William Ruto, in as much as we love William Ruto, their time comes when the law has to be law. The mandates that they were given over 8 years ago by the people of Kenya as Jubilee Party, if the party withdraws that mandate from Dr. William Ruto as the party deputy party leader, it automatically sets the stage for impeachment of Dr. William Ruto as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Why? Because the mandate and the law that governs these parties requires Dr. William Ruto to leave Jubilee Party, because Jubilee Party does no longer believe in William Ruto. The tenets and the foundation of Jubilee Party does not believe in the person of Dr. William Ruto. So Miriam, when this mandate that is given by the people, and including our constitution, is very clear. We are not even talking about the party, the mandate that is given by the Jubilee Party constitution. That the mandate, the people that give a person the mandate, if by 8th of August 2022, another president would have been elected, and the former mandate that was given to another president will be removed from them and also be given to another. So when Jubilee Party, Miriam, removes this mandate of deputy president, deputy party leader from Dr. William Ruto, it deems he is deemed to have left the party because he is in UDA, he is the party leader of UDA. Actually, his candidate has been trashed very badly, Miriam, in Ukambani. You need to tell people that the candidate of Dr. William Ruto, with all the monies that he has been pumping in Ukambani, has been trashed. He has a mere 19,000 votes. That is a deputy president who and a candidate in Ukambani. And that mandate that will be withdrawn by Tuesday, it will directly affect his office in Karen. So pushing him out of current office, Arambia next, and also eventually impeaching him in parliament is a stage that will be set by Tuesday, Miriam, because the mandate that has been given to him by the party that sponsored him to Arambia next and the current office has been removed ostensibly. By Tuesday morning, Miriam, we shall be done with the person of Deputy President William Ruto as the Jubilee party leader, and that mandate will have been withdrawn, and that is the law. We cannot be able to change the law. What can we say now? We can only wish him all the best as he continues pushing for his own personal ambition to become president, Miriam, so that he can get his own fresh mandate as a president and as a party leader of UDA if he ever become president, Miriam. Because I cannot be able to judge his personal ambition whether it will come true or not. It is for him and God to decide, and the people of Kenya to give him a mandate. But this mandate that will be removed by the Jubilee Party of Kenya as the deputy party leader of Jubilee, it is the law, Miriam, and I cannot change the law. I didn't create the party constitution, and I didn't create the law itself. If mandate is withdrawn from you, you are deemed even to have left the party long time ago. So for Dr. William Ruto, I wish you well, brother. May it be well with you, because Jubilee Party is done with you by Tuesday. It will have it will be a certain stage for you to leave the party completely, and also for you to be impeached as Deputy President William Ruto.
Lakini Douglas, UDA unamsukuma huko, na we've seen how it performed yesterday there in Machakos. Are you is Deputy President likely to sit down and perhaps recalculate? You know, it has not been faring very well. Yes. And what does that mean? Let me answer you that very quickly. The elections yesterday in Machakos, what does that mean to UDA moving forward?
Miriam, I thank God that everything that I say is on record, and you know very well, you are the senior anchor here. I have told you before, what has been happening across the country is a sign of what is likely to come. And you didn't dispute what I said, you just left me alone. And you have to leave me alone this morning, because I told you, William Ruto, keep losing until in 2022. If you do proper analysis, Miriam, as a journalist that you are of high repute, you will see the pattern that is following Dr. William Ruto is a pattern of defeat, and this party is very unpopular with the people. I've actually heard some people say, if you want to run for MCA in Rift Valley, you can use UDA. But if you want to run a serious campaign, become a senator, become an MP, become president, leave UDA matters alone, Miriam. It is the high time Dr. William Ruto goes back to his knees and goes back to his drawing board and recalculates the issue on UDA. Because Miriam, the party chairman, with all the monies the UDA party has been mobilizing around in his own backyard, he was trashed by the ex-wife under the party of Wiper. Everywhere, Miriam, this UDA thing is embarrassing Dr. William Ruto. The crowd that he has been moving around with, that he has the people and God, this thing, even God seems to have left UDA, Miriam, because when you look at it objectively, UDA party is going to hand over Dr. William Ruto the defeat of his life. He has never been defeated before, but in 2022, you'll be defeated under this party, Miriam. Right. The sign of things to come. This is a center stage that is being set. It is a sign of things that are going to come. Professor is laughing because he knows it is the truth.
Sour.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So I rather read a very interesting tweet there under the hashtag Machakos Decides yesterday from a Kenyan known as Kipruto Franklin. And this is what Kipruto had to say. UDA's stronghold is a region called social media. People in this region vote, make noise, tally their votes and complain behind the keyboard, but they actually never make it to any polling station. That is just on a lighter note there. But the yeah, the stronghold is called social media. That's a diss. Come on now, Kipruto. All right, before Doctor comes in, Musa, what do you make of this new, fresh scheme to remove DP as the chairperson of the Jubilee Party?
Wow, Miriam, thank you so much for having me. And, you know, you are told in political science, Miriam, use your absence and honor to increase respect. And you are told always respect your master, Miriam. That is what we've seen today in the aspect of our most peaceful neighbors in African continent, the most loving people, Tanzanians, having one of the best, even most efficient political transitions, leave alone even those American ones, Miriam, in the whole global world. And now here we are, two different worlds, Miriam. Another one is being rewarded as a result of being patient, helping the doctor, achieving his ambitions, being regarded by people as the mother of tolerance. Just cross the border, Miriam, 400 kilometers away. Here is another stubborn man who purports to control everything, Miriam. I've never seen this in my whole, even the fictional movies I watch, Miriam, I've never seen such kind of plotting, whereby you are just trying to plan to commit suicide yourself in the very platform your families and children are feeding on, Miriam. And this is President William Ruto. What is the price of remaining silent, Miriam? If you disagree with President Uhuru Kenyatta, at what cost will it make you purge negatively when you will just tell President Uhuru Kenyatta, I've decided to be silent, I respect you, please give me a lot of jobs which is going to involve a lot of traveling outside of this country, even let me be in charge of foreign policy or something like that. Unfortunately, he is a man who does not believe in history, Miriam. And
a lot of traveling might not be a good idea. That will cost us a lot of money. So we don't want that.
Miriam, I'm just saying,
like Magufuli, we should discourage that.
I just said traveling.
Yeah.
I just said traveling at least to me.
But something to keep him busy.
If you disagree with your senior, if you indeed you disagree with your senior, then at least do something which will make the two of you come together. Do not do something which will transgress and create a bigger pact between two of you.
I hear you.
And now here you are, Miriam. And you know, there is nothing as beautiful as learning from history, Miriam. He should have learned from what happened today with Madam Suluhu, Miriam. He should have learned from what happened in Cote d'Ivoire, Miriam. When Mohamed Bakayoko passed on, you've seen the transition, Miriam.
All right.
Why are you not learning from the experiences of political issues happening in this continent, Miriam, and even globally? And to make it simple, Professor Onyari said a very cardinal point. We move across the border to Kenya. This is, he said, kingpin politics. And when he meant kingpin politics, this is the politics of matope ikikurukia, you just throw another one. You know, there is nothing like ideal. There is nothing like Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere taught me ujamaa as far as ethnicity is concerned. You know, there is nothing like that in Kenya. Actually, in Kenya, for you to be evil, you are better. This is purely Machiavellian politics we are speaking about. And Miriam, there is nothing as bad as turning. The other day, Miriam, me niko mashinani, and I talked to one of the guys on the ground, and he told me, though he is uneducated, He told me this UDA party look like the party of the slaves. I was shocked and asked him, what do you mean by that? He said, there is a way the symbol is ugly. It shows wheelbarrow, and wheelbarrow can drive anything. And he told me also it lacks charisma and honor. There are some party symbols, Miriam, in this country. When you see two people saying hi to one another, when you see a donkey in Democrats of USA, donkey means hard work, Miriam. It means resilience. And now you are seeing here a wheelbarrow, and you are shocked. What is this? Is it an industrial complex or something of sort like that?
It's hard labor.
So what is happening, Miriam? I submit.
Yes. Go ahead.
I submit. What is happening, Miriam, is that I'm fed up with William Samoei Ruto. I don't care. What I'm concerned with is the fact now the fuel is selling at 155 shillings in my local town, Miriam. I'm concerned at how those vaccinations and jab are going to arrive at my village, and how even people are going to demystify those cultural narratives that this thing is coming from Illuminati and sort of the stuff. I don't care William Ruto's politics, Miriam. Right. As long as I know I have the symbol of national unity, I have the symbol of the supremacy of the constitution of this country, and that is not President Uhuru Kenyatta, but presidency, Miriam, the office, the presidency. So I will not be concerned with the politics of William Ruto, Miriam. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we're also joined by Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, the panel. Good morning, all of you. And thank you very much for taking the show to the lips where it is. First of all, I was in the back seat watching the ceremony, installation ceremony of the new president in Tanzania. I want to pick from where Musa ended. Let's be very honest. 400 miles away, you have a man who wants to kill his friend when the friend is still in the seat. Across the bridge down, you have very serious democracy, a transition. Up north of that country, Tanzania, there is very serious crisis of transition. West of Tanzania, there is very serious crisis of transition. The one in Burundi went very well. Across in Rwanda, you know what happens there. Because of the nature of the situation that was in Rwanda. And when you look at all those, you'd come to a conclusion and say, we are happy to be part of the Tanzanian transition. Magufuli left a gap, but the lady has stepped in to take the seriousness. You can see the former leaders are present, everybody is present. I don't think the former leaders will attend William Ruto's function if he ever takes power in this country. William Ruto dismembered his friend's legacy. He cut it to pieces. I am happy that he's seeing some of the signs that you see across in Machakos. 100 million over is gone. Over 100 million shillings, or even 150. Because you want to show the power to your boss that you are capable of taking constituencies and shame him. So, Africa, we still have a pain. And we are pained. I just want to tell you that Tanzania is pained. But Tanzania must change from this. Tanzania must move away and look at the direction, focus, unity. The unity that lacks in our countries. the First Lady, the President of the Republic of Muungano ya Tanzania, emphasized unity of purpose at this moment. So Musa is correct. When the pandemic arrived in Kenya, Miriam, this man told us that he wanacheza tu. He did not attend any of the meetings for the pandemic. This is now in Kenya. When Mutahi Kagwe called for meetings in the State House, who was absent in the State House? The Deputy President was absent. He termed this Uhuru's maneuvers. He went ahead to meet people without masks. Let me tell you, this disease is everywhere. As you move out of your house, you would not know whether it will catch you, but you can come back with the disease. As you sit in your own house and you are visited by somebody who might have touched someone or met someone, it can catch you. But it's very important for the people of Kenya and Africa to understand that this is the time to make decision change. Let's change our mindset. 1 year ago on 18th of February, I told Africans that this disease will become a very big nightmare from international intelligence systems that I had already gathered. What was happening in Wuhan, that letter is there. You will never take it away from history. I'm not an expert in disease control, but I'm an expert on reading the international wires of what is going to happen. From the time the World Health Organization went to Wuhan and to China, and then they shut down, America was making noise. Why did you fly to China and not fly to us? That is the time when any scholar could pick a lot of interest and say, what is going on here? Why are these people quarreling? And indeed, I picked interest. I went deeper to analyze. I wrote my personal letter to the people of Africa that prepare for one of the most wanted services. Prepare our hospitals, prepare ourselves. This disease is coming. How it came is God's will. Because even if you say it was given to us by Chinese, but the Chinese had the God's will. There was the God's will for the Chinese to be able to administer and throw it out. They didn't do it without God's will. It is therefore my submission at Miriam. Time has come now for really Africa and Kenya in particular. Two things I wanted to talk about this morning. That's one. The second thing I want to warn Africa is the arrival of NGOs in the format of in this every type of disguise that they have arrived to help us. If you look at Tanzania today and look at the Tanzanian opposition today, you are a schooler, you are a student, you are anywhere. Look at the performance of the Tanzanian opposition. Does it speak for you or it speaks for the West? Why is the West so much obsessed with Magufuli? The media comes to the extent of demonizing a dead man. Why? Last night we did a very great show. Tawish, thank you. You saw it, a great show. And Javani Karanja and Douglas, thank you very much. Professor, I think you did not see the notification, but that is not a problem. When the night show is for when you are available, because some of it is very odd hours. Some people want to rest. But I know for you there has never been an end hours in Sabbath of God. Every time you wake up and say hallelujah, Matanga, hallelujah, come up, you are always praying. We looked at these implications. The NGOs. Are we serving NGOs? Are people disguised here as NGOs? Anyway, Chikwete brought NGOs to Tanzania. Magufuli reversed the NGOs, took them out, went for Nyerere's fury. Yes, let's be honest. Because the date is around here, we are discussing. And it is not going to go away until he's buried on 25th. Chikwete allowed NGOs. Chikwete, my friend, I had to confront him. At one time in Dar es Salaam, I went when he was siding with ICC. I said, Your Excellency, surely? Then he said, well, how long are you staying here? You know, I couldn't even tell him how long I was staying because now I'd become a wound in his, a needle in his body. Because when you challenge a head of state by saying, surely, do you see this other side of International Criminal Court? You seem to be waffling not to know whether you should vote. You should actually support Kenya or not. You saw the statements that Chikwete made. It's NGO. Until Membe, the foreign minister said, Mzee, nikuletea mgenyi, lakini sasa mgenyi, kama bado mgenyi, alikuwa bado mwambia mimi kitu ataenda kuzungumza. I embarrassed the Minister of Foreign Affairs by flooring the president's argument. You know what? So the man had to start telling the president that, please, I'm sorry, I did not know that Dr. Matanga was going to touch on this thing so deep like that. So, look, we have NGOs. They have come here, Miriam. There are many here. Kenya is not exception. And if you are not careful, if we don't watch out, you don't push our tentacles higher and wider, we have a problem. The government today, in America is a government that accepts regime change. The government today in America does not send troops to attack. The current government in America is a silent killer. Inakutoa pole pole. It sends money and activates the NGOs. So Miriam, those are 2 points that I wanted to bring up. It is not only Tanzania. Across the bridge, you see on the bench of the Supreme Court in Uganda, you will talk about it later, I hope. One judge jumps out and says, no, this judgment is not good. So people go and switch off his electricity not to read the what? So we are talking of democracy. And my question, therefore, I want to finish it this. Media and the panel, you eat democracy. Have you ever seen democracy being? Do you eat it? What do you eat at your house? You eat democracy. What is this democracy you say? You want a democracy. Does democracy mean elections only? Or does democracy mean there's a road that takes Musa to Isiolo and returns him without any hiccup? Is that not the democracy you want? But you eat the word democracy. How many of you here eat the word democracy? If you are democratic, can you go to Waiyaki Highway and sleep there, walk the whole night if you have not been robbed? I want you to try an example, Mr. Karanja. Go to Nanyuki town with your suit. Stay just there. You will see how many people will come to check your pockets. Yeah. Then you will know, isn't it a democracy you are looking for? I want to eat democracy. That is the democracy you are standing in Nanyuki. At midnight, in the road. You know what will happen to you? Someone will call police to come and say, there is a madman, a thief. In fact, you might have a problem. You might not see God again, or you might only see God, but not us again. Because you are looking for democracy. Therefore, you go and be naked or stand with a nice suit from Turkey and tell people that I am democratic. Well, see how they will take your wallet. Nasema mjamaa huyu hako mshenzi kabisa. Huyu unaona anawacha hata pesa ziko kwa mfuko. They will tell you that. Oh, Onyali, you a teacher. That democracy is not eaten. Elections is not the only thing which is democratic. What is very important is the way you fight corruption makes democracy work. Magufuli has gone down, but Magufuli reversed the trend of NGOs in Africa. Magufuli has gone down, but Magufuli fought drug dealers. Magufuli has gone down, but Magufuli brought civil servants to work. Magufuli has gone down, but Magufuli never allowed the word democracy to be democracy. You can't be democratic when you are cheating people. You can't be democratic when Lulu Tundu, you are getting funding from international agents of George Soros to fund insurgency, insurrection into a state. That's not a democracy for me. You can swing up to heaven, we shall not agree with Matanga. And I told him yesterday in another telephone conversation with him that your politics of opposition is different from mine. You are a disgrace to Africa. Don't parade yourself on these televisions everywhere. Walaya Mungu, unasikia mimi, unanijua. I wrong him. Nimwambia wewe, you are stupid. In fact, that's why they pumped those bullets. Yes. Watu wanataka kuambia ukweli. Wewe sasa mtu amekufa. Mwafrika mwenzi yako anakufa. Even if I hate Miriam, or Miriam hates me, or I hate Tawish, I will still pass by their house. But I don't go around dancing the international radio stations. Nimwambia wewe una hata roho. Tulizungumza 27 minutes. Una roho wewe. Wewe tena uwezi kupeleka Tanzania mbele. Wewe uwezi. Nimwambia wewe bado uko mtoto tena. Hizi siasa zako za Orengo na nani wenye mnafanya hii biashara ya George Soros halfway. Anasema they had to help us because of human rights. I said, how many human rights activists have you made to be killed in Tanzania? How many? Very many. Lakini who has built more houses in Tanzania? Who? It is him. Why is it that the money that is packed in Tanzania by Chadema, through Chadema, why does it benefit very few people? Alianguka hata kwa simu aliwacha. So when you grow up, you younger men, don't rely. You can. Don't. I'm not telling you don't harbor enmity. Don't harbor enmity. Don't harbor enmity. You will grow older. I cannot go to Brussels and tell Belgium to impose sanctions on Uganda. No. No. You will be very stupid and foolish as a man. Even if you disagree with President Museveni, you can't call for sanctions to kill Ugandans who benefit. Some of them benefit from those smaller things that are done. So if you block Uganda with sanctions, it is not going to work for you politically. So I have a version, and Tawish knows me longer. My version is not to call for sanctions. My version is to engage, to disagree, agree, and engage. And that is what to do, Lucy should do. If he doesn't do that, very soon none of these East African states will want him to step their feet there. You know, I'm telling you, you will stay in Europe. People ask me every day, oh, why don't you join Uganda politics? And do what? Miriam, and do what in Uganda politics? That you join, and do what? Today I'm answering you. And do what? Tawish, we have been there before. You started interviewing me as early as 2007, 2008, 2010, 11, 12. I joined Uganda politics to do what? Which I have not done before. Which I have made people to have political parties. You want me now to join? And do what now? When I tell you don't go into an election, just stay home, don't vote. Then you come and say my vote was stolen. Then why did you go there? Why? I cannot work on external masters. Musikie Masanga huyu. Musikie kutoka leo nyenye. I cannot work on instructions of George Soros, NGOs abroad to dismember my country. No. No. To join and do what? Nilikuambia, don't go to elections. You are young. You won't manage this pressure. Some of us have been attempted on our lives 22 times. 22 times. Forget. 22 times. With lethal, some with lethal weapons, some with poison. We have lost our families, our dads. People have gone. We don't know them. Look, so African politics. Miriam, today is Punch Friday. Is a punch. You must punch your way out. Join and do what in Uganda? Change what? The status quo remains in the hands of the state, of the same man, the same machinery. So you will change what? Go back, retreat, and reorganize. I made an argument with Besigye until he did not. Did you see Besigye on the ballot paper? He said, Ndugu, you are right. And do what? You cannot overthrow CCM, even if you come with rockets. They are entrenched. CCM is like a ZANU-PF. CCF is like MPLA. CCM is like Frelimo. The Frelimo ruling party. They are difficult to turn down. People, the younger generation of Chadema tried. They could get seats. I'm telling you, even if they say free fall, people will vote CCM. Tanzanians are conservative. They like what they want, not what you tell them. They like what they want, what their hearts want. And they like their founding father. Tanzanians read their background. Where did we come from? A humble background. For us, in our countries, we read mischief every time. We go back to tribal enclaves and win votes in the tribes. Yeah, can't you see the tribes? If I can tell you, Miriam, I'm the only nationalistic man in Uganda. My tribe is the only nationalistic. The rest of the tribes are tribal. It is us who don't know, who don't value where you come from. We buy your manifesto. My tribe supported President Milton Obote up to the end. And the group, most of us here, who a living soul, I'm here. Up to the end. I will not throw away my identity card, seek it with any other stupid paper. Identity of the card membership. So Africa is like that. Watch the NGOs. They are coming. They are good ones and they are bad ones. There are good ones that bring peace. Those ones you should support. But the good ones that tell you, go and do this, go and do this. The good ones that file applications to go through during the trials of court. Watch them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So we will continue with that topic that we have there, the ouster of Deputy President William Ruto, and I think it's Javen who had not made his comments there before we get on to our next topic. So I'll just read something there on the story that was on yesterday's The Star newspaper. Cherangani Member of Parliament Joshua Kotun has said that he revealed that plans are afoot for Jubilee to have a joint retreat with other like-minded political parties to deliberate on the approach to the BBI referendum and the 2022 general election. He, meaning Ruto, has already boxed himself into a corner and he should carry his own cross. As a party, we want to get rid of roadblocks that stand in the way of development and unity, Kutuni said. Jevan. He's saying it's deep his fault.
Yeah. Come up again.
He's saying, Kutunyi is saying it's deep his fault. He put himself in this predicament.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Joshua Kutunyi. These are self-inflicted wounds. And Miriam, when you do that, nobody cries because you are the one who caused yourself the suffering. Therefore, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, has come out as defiant. He has not respected his boss. And he has done things contrary to what the Jubilee manifesto or the Jubilee agenda was when they were seeking re-election in 2017. The Hasra narrative that he keeps peddling day in, day out is not part of Jubilee manifesto. He promised, they went around promising development, not mobilization of class struggle, not mobilization of people who don't want peace in this nation. Therefore, when you look at the issue, you see clearly that the Deputy President has caused himself all this suffering because he has gone out there, even to some extent, to portray himself as the president. And I think this is where he got it wrong. He thought he was a co-president to President Uhuru Kenyatta, forgetting that constitutionally he was the principal assistant of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Number two, he took the charisma of President Uhuru Kenyatta lightly, and he thought this is a man you can joke around with anyhowly. That is how he came to Mount Kenya, started indoctrinating the minds of people here in this region with the wheelbarrow, with telling them how the government of the day is not performing. Little did he know that President Uhuru Kenyatta is a political giant who knows when and where to strike. That is why today we are where we are today. We have seen the leadership in Senate, Deputy President allies whipped from various key positions. And Miriam, I will not be surprised in Tuesday if Deputy President is shown the door out of Jubilee Party. And when that happens, Miriam, William Ruto will be exposed to any kind of any form of impeachment, because when any Kenya of sound mind goes to a court of law to seek for an interpretation, because when you cease to be a party leader, when you cease to be a member of the party that sponsored you to the position you are, Miriam, then I see you have been exposed. Anybody, you can be impeached anyhow, because at the end of the day, your image, your character, your reputation, your morality in the society have been injured. Therefore, anybody can go and even a member of parliament can suppose an impeachment motion by saying, if you have been whipped, if you have been delegated from the position in your party, then you are not fit to hold the position of the deputy president. Therefore, he has gone out, Miriam, to campaign for the UDA candidate who are losing every day and time. And you wonder whether this UDA party is a politically disabled outfit, because they are not winning, rather, but they are losing soundingly. Therefore, when you look at it, when he goes around there campaigning for political outfit, wearing these yellow outfits of UDA, shows that this is a man who is determined to ensure that he fights. And one thing, Miriam, that comes out clearly, Deputy President wants to remain an irritant from within. He wants to start things from within the Jubilee administration. And that is why the party leadership wants him out, because he is bringing the confusion. He wants to continue stirring the confusion, stirring the demolition of the party from within. And that one, I don't see the party leadership sitting plenty. That is why they want him out, so that he can concentrate, so that they can have a person of like mind, a person who buys the agenda of Jubilee to continue with the work as the deputy president. Let the deputy president, and I see this as a very opportunity for the deputy president to resign and to go out there to continue working on his 2022 agenda, to continue working on the UDA party, because he is too ambitious, Miriam, to a point where he left his duties as a deputy president to concentrate on his 2022 ambition. I think that is where his heart is, and he should be given room to continue working on those dreams, Miriam. Okay. And he should remember that other Kenyans have similar dreams, and we Kenyans will have the final say on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that wraps up that topic. So let's just get on to our next topic, where this week IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati appeared in Parliament for during the public participation on the proposed Constitutional Amendment 2020 bill, otherwise known as the BBI report. And he has a problem with those additional constituencies that has been proposed inside the BBI. And this is what he had to say. Chebukati said while they were justified to create new constituencies, their placement in the counties is the preserve of the independent electoral and boundaries alone. He said the BBI promoters never consulted the commission nor conducted public participation prior to the creation of the proposed constituencies. He said the situation could trigger court cases and render the referendum illegal. Besides, Chebukati warned the short period 6 months proposed in the bill for the elimination of the additional constituencies could throw the 2022 polls into disarray and plunge the country into a constitutional quagmire. The chairman said boundary delimitations is an emotive exercise that could result in numerous disputes and litigations and cause chaos if hurriedly done. He reiterated the commission would require at least 2 years to carry out public participation, file reports, and resolve existing boundary disputes. So do we need an extension of the presidency to allow time for this, or how is this going to work? How do you understand what Chebukati is saying? Samuel Tawish.
Very well, Miriam. I think it's unfortunate that we have the person in the name of Chebukati who is chairing a very critical commission in this country, that is IEBC, which is supposed to come out as an impartial commission to try and address issues regarding elections in this country, coming out and throwing, cold waters on the proposals that have been made by virtue of this BBI. Because again, when you understand the BBI and the proposals contained therein are actually proposals that have been put forward by Kenyans themselves. And that is why we are saying they're going to be subjected to a plebiscite, or rather a referendum, so that Kenyans themselves can determine which way they want this thing to be done. If it's about additional constituencies, it is Kenyans themselves who, through the Building Bridges Initiative, or through the late Yusuf Haji's organ, were able to present the views and thought maybe this will be the best way forward. So I do not understand where Chebukati and his team are coming from when they begin faulting the opinion and the views of the Kenyans, when they feel maybe they are underrepresented or they are overrepresented. In any case, now that this bill is going to be subjected to a referendum, then Kenyans will have the ultimate choice to make as to whether to support this bill or not, to support this initiative or not. But it would be too early and immature, rather premature, for Chebukati and his team to say that these proposals are not actually due as it is today. Miriam, when Chebukati comes out and quotes some of the articles or some of the provisions or the mandate of the IEBC itself, where do they derive this mandate? Where do they get this mandate to run the affairs of IEBC? It is from the same Kenyans. It is through the same constitution that was passed by Kenyans. So if it is the same Kenyans that are saying maybe these are some of the proposals, these are some of the amendments we want to make in the way we want to be governed, so I don't understand where Chebukati is coming from and saying this is not the right way forward to do things. Another point, and the very last one, is about the complaint or the lamentation by IEBC that perhaps they are not given enough or ample time to present views, or they are not consulted. I remember the Yusuf Haji-led team actually went around the country for virtually 2 years, consulting and allowing members of the public and even relevant organizations, including political parties, these commissions, to come up with any kind of views, any kind of changes they would want to be effected in this particular bill. And they never actually took that advantage to go to the commission and presented their views. Now they are coming out late after the bill has been made, complaining that they were not consulted, they were not given time. This is just an aspect of hypocrisy, and it should not be permitted, Miriam. I submit.
And they're saying the time that will require to look at the delimitation of boundaries there might, when he underscored that it requires at least 2 years. So right now, the way it has been proposed in the BBI, about 6 months, he's saying that will not be enough. So what do you propose the solution be to that?
My opinion will be, Miriam, these are just but proposals which are going to be, which have been tabled, or rather they have been formatted in form of a bill. They're going to be subjected to a referendum, and Kenyans will determine whether they really want these additional constituencies in those respective counties, whether they want them or not. And the process of delimitation now will be a different process altogether. Because again, when you talk about giving Kiambu, for instance, more constituencies, it's not just about maybe the president or former Prime Minister Raila Odinga or the BBI secretariat are the ones who are going to determine what are the boundaries, what is going to be the end and the start of these particular constituencies. I do not think that is actually the trajectory that IEBC does want to take Kenyans. They are trying to divert the attention from the common good that BBI wants to achieve by saying that there are some aspects in this bill that are not good and they are going to incite Kenyans maybe to fight. Actually, we do not disagree that it's within the mandate of IEBC to determine the delimitation or the boundaries of these particular constituencies. But that will be done then after the passage of this particular bill through a referendum. They will then have that opportunity to go to those particular counties or to those regions and determine what will be the boundaries of this particular constituencies, Miriam. So in terms of time, I don't think we are actually overtaken by time. Time will be there after the bill has been passed into a law. And the IEBC will now embark on the process of having the limitation of these particular constituencies, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel Tawish.
Should I respond, Miriam?
Just before you come in, the Constitution Article 84, Sub-Article 4C and 89 give the IEBC the mandate to delineate constituency boundaries every 8 years, but any review shall be completed at least 12 months before a general election of members of parliament. You can come in now, Musa.
Thank you, Miriam. I'm in a very unstable network connection, so I come and go. I'm really sorry for that. Getting directly to the point, Miriam, is that honestly thinking whatever IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati has put forward, to my own opinion, is really justified. Because, Miriam, a year and a half ago, I happened to be in my community whereby the ward which I come from have really surpassed the threshold of standing to be given a new ward. So we wrote a letter to regional office in Isiolo, Independent and Electoral Boundary Commission. The committee came and indeed they looked at the census, the 2019 census report that the population threshold has been achieved, and the expansion and economic issues, all those criteria, Miriam. And IEBC wrote in writing to us and told us now, unfortunately, there is a communication which we have been, dealing with here and there, that there is high likely the issue of delimitation and, giving of new boundaries and, these areas has been pushed to 2024. That is what you got. The response we got, Miriam, the time we applied for that request for us to be given additional ward because of the threshold we've achieved. And in the sense, Miriam, I know the issue of boundary is really emotive. Like when you go to Isiolo County, there is a boundary dispute between Isiolo County and Meru County. When you go to Makueni, Miriam, there is a dispute between Makueni County and Kajiado County. We understand, and even Narok County and Kisii County. And when now you bring the issue of delimitation a bit with what Kenyans need, Miriam, I know we are Kenyans, but we cannot be granted everything. And at the end of the day, Miriam, Kenyans are really behaving as if these funds and money is going outside of this country. No matter how many million units of boundaries we are going to divide amongst ourselves in this country, Miriam, development is going to be unequivocal, as in it's going to be happening everywhere. So I know there is that capitalist and selfish interest of us Kenyans that we want everything entitled to us. But I believe addition of, these constituencies has really raised a lot of concerns here. And the concern number one, Miriam, is you've seen a very huge chunk of land and, constituencies, Miriam, when you go to Mandera, Isiolo, the Northern Frontier District, Miriam, we comprise 75% of, Kenyan landmass. And when you look at the BBI proposal, I don't know how they were done, but you only found Mandera being given a constituency. For me, I don't have any issue with the boundary issue. I would even suggest Uhuru Kenyatta to remove that single constituency. We don't have to divide our countries. More of it will be looking like a colonial units. Now come to Kisii. The other day, Sylvester Osoro was complaining, we need to be given additional constituency. The other time, I saw things unfolding in Montelgon, Bungoma. They were saying Montelgon constituency is really big from Kopsiro to Chepkube. It's really big. We need to be divided and being given two constituencies. Miriam, it is really giving headache to Wafula, to Chairman Chebukati as far as this is concerned. But as my brother has put it, is that it's going to be decided by plebiscite and, referendum. And the problem we are going to have, Miriam, I know all this delimitation of boundaries is revolving around a very key agenda, and that is resource allocation. The issue of CDF, the issue of, sub-county, being given, establishment of new sub-counties, and even the demographic distribution as far as, government decision in giving or allocating a particular county a resource is concerned. All these issues, Miriam, I know this is more of a institutional war between the IEBC and the BBI task force there, but it's something which can be resolved, Miriam. The only problem I have, and I will agree with my brother who's spoken before me, is a lot of tiring and cumbersome bureaucracy process, Miriam.
Okay.
What we were in the constitutional line, we said we've read it, that article, 12 months before general election, you can give us the new ward. But they had to tell us, due to inavailability of funds, we are really conducting a lot of by-elections, we are not going to give you this new ward. We are going to give you in 2024. And in a way, Miriam, it's inconvenience, and the issue of demographics, poverty, inequality is not something which is stagnant. You give it that economic, derivative of it staying there forever. Babies are born, people are dying. We need to have that, diverse, and dynamic, essence of development being put into place as far as, delimitation and these issues are concerned, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, and you've mentioned there rightfully, Douglas, Musa, that these are institutional war, IEBC fighting against the BBI process, but also IEBC is embroidered in another war with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and we saw that unfold during the public participation there in Parliament. So, Javan, what do you make of these new, issues that IEBC is raising, and why is it, raising a problem with the increased constituencies now, and it did not do that before?
Let me say this from onset that we have seen in not one, not two, or three occasions where Wafula Chebukati, the IEBC chairperson, has come out clearly and distanced himself from the BBI process. He has not in the mood to support the looming constitutional changes. Therefore, I'm not surprised if he comes up again to talk of the proposed constituency, because he has tried. And you remember, there's sometimes they made a mistake by terming the building bridges as the banning of bridges initiative. Therefore, you see there are a lot of reactions, and I think maybe Chebukati is worried because one thing that BBI seeks to achieve is the streamlining of the electoral processes. But Miriam, that is a proposal. Miriam, we have not yet reached to a point where it will be made a law. We have not yet gone to referendum. That is what the BBI proposes. And I know the work of the IEBC is to demarcate, to come up with this constituency, to add or to reduce the constituency. But they have not done that for quite a period of time, since 2013. Therefore, they need to have come up with these boundaries way before, because they work with the timelines, Miriam. Now, if they start dividing that now, I think they are sleeping in their job. But one thing that we must understand, through the BBI is not only adding additional constituency, but is also protecting some constituency that might be lost if we don't have the process. If the IEBC goes on demarcating and having new constituency, some constituencies will be lost which don't meet the required numbers of people in that constituency. Therefore, what we see, BBI is coming to protect some counties from being lost, also bringing additional constituency to the large and vast populated areas. Miriam, some guys have been arguing that why add the constituency rather than adding the amount of money to those big constituency? Miriam, there's the issue of representation. If you represent 400,000 people, Miriam, and you are given even a double amount, these people are not well represented. Therefore, the BBI is also addressing the issue of representation, where a certain number of people should be represented by one member of parliament. Therefore, it's not about the resources, but it's also about the issue of representation. And that is where we talk of people having equal representation. Miriam, I know, and it's a fact, when you compare the constituency of Ruilu and some constituency in Lamu West, for example, you'll see clearly that the amount of money that is given to Loilo constituency is equal to what is given to Lamu, but the number of people, Loilo has almost 400,000 registered voters compared to 20,000 plus registered voters in some constituency in Lamu. Therefore, when they get equal amount of CDF and they have equal representation, then Miriam, that is not the fairness. That is why BBI seeks to bring fairness in terms of representation, in terms of resources distribution, and that is why even through devolution, we are having the amount increased from 15% to a minimum of 35%. Therefore, Chebukati should understand and look keenly on the issue of representation, Miriam. Nobody wants their constituency to be lost. Therefore, BBI is coming to protect those small constituencies so that these people in this small marginalized constituency will continue getting the resources, will continue getting the 100 million for the CDF. have. That is the role of BBI, to bring equal representation and equal distribution of resources. Therefore, Chebukati, I know Chebukati maybe is not happy with BBI process, but that is his opinion. But the people who have the ultimate decision is Kenyans. If Kenyans agree for the additional 70 constituency through a popular initiative, and that is the referendum, then that let it be. If Kenyans disagree on the ballot, then we will accept the results and allow Chebukati to continue with his work. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Professor Chebukati is saying, I was not consulted. If anything, this lies within my docket to delineate their boundaries. But BBI process there seems to have taken over some of his responsibilities. So he's having a problem.
Briefly, Miriam. In any case, if Chebukati or the IEBC is complaining that it is within their mandate actually to do this delimitation, who did bar IEBC from doing this ever since they came into office? I mean, Chebukati's team. Nobody actually barred them from conducting this kind of, exercise, going around maybe this country, asking Kenyans their views about the boundaries or additional representation. So it is up to them, actually. I do not understand why they're blaming Kenyans or blaming the drivers of the BBI initiative by saying...
And Tawish, he's also raising issue with public participation. So the people who showed up there, does that count to give their opinion as public participation?
You know where we need to start from, Miriam, and I think this is going to take maybe some time from us. Where we need to begin from is how did we get where we are today?
What is public participation?
Miriam?
What is public participation, Professor?
Yeah,
I'm just speaking a conversation with Tawish and you. What is public?
Yes. I have the answer. Let me just combine the two.
Yes. Go ahead, Professor. I wanted to come to you.
Miriam, hear this. You are. Did I hear you asking me a question that Chebukati was not consulted?
He's saying that.
As who?
As the chairperson of IEBC.
Who is he? He is a creation of the Kenyan Constitution.
Yes.
When it comes to the constitutional making, Miriam, the people of Kenya are supreme. The people of Kenya can even decide to tear this constitution and come up with anything which they want to be governed, Miriam. And Miriam, hear this. And I don't know, Miriam, the process of BBI in the history of this country has been very consultative. And with nobody, Miriam, has ever been left behind. The principals came with 9-point agenda. They came with a task force. And this man, including this foolish man, Chebukati, he could have taken his views there. He can't wait Kenyans to take their views, and then you just go and ask ourselves that he was not consulted. Then we add Bombers 1, Miriam.
Yes.
He could have gone and said, and then we have the Bombers 1, they said, go for validation. What did he do? And I saw him appearing before the committee. What did he represent?
He did not bring the issues about the
He did not bring the issue. Yeah. This is too late.
Miriam.
Then, Doctor, let Professor finish his point, and then you can come in, please.
Article 92 of the Kenyan Constitution says, Miriam, and I want to read for the people of Kenya to hear this. It talks about Parliament. Is it 94? The one you were referring, Miriam, to?
Article 84. Yes, Article 4C.
But what the section says that Parliament shall enact an act on how there is the elimination of constituencies and wards and boundaries. So Parliament must make the law for Chebukati to use. And Article 97, Miriam, says the membership of the National Assembly, that we shall have 290 members. For this one to be changed to have another constituency, Miriam, it is the people of Kenya to say, we want the extra constituencies. Now we are trying to say that we are increasing the constituency to this number, and then we will give this man, Chebukati, go and delimit these boundaries. And remember, you have said that you have had him quarreling with the director for Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Miriam, Chebukati works for the government of Kenya. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics works for the government of Kenya. They are the one who carry the census for this man to use. So, Miriam, what we need to do, Miriam, we should be able to pull in the same directions. We are in the constitutional moment, Miriam. Our country was almost going to the dogs because of this, and now we are coming together. This is not the time for us to bring side source, but let me tell you what Chebukati is fearing. Do you know that we are sending him home? Do you know we are sending him home? And they will look for every opportunities, Miriam, to cause confusion to the people of Kenya so that they can be able to say, oh, these constituencies, the boundaries and the electoral commission has not been involved. So from where I sit, the Kenyan people now, Miriam, it is too late. Whether Parliament are going to accept or not accept, and the Senate, we are heading to the referendum. And the public participation, Dr. Masanga, here you are saying here is to ask people, is to inform people. And the law does not compel you, Miriam, that once you have done with public participation, that you do what people have told you. You do what's good for the governance, but you need to involve people. You need to inform people. You need to consult them so that we can be able to reach a consensus and we move together, Miriam. So on this one, Chebukati is deadly wrong.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, can I come in now?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I remember Tawish was on the floor. I wanted to pump him a lot of information.
Tawish already spoke. He was just responding to a point. Yeah. Douglas was the one to come next. But go ahead.
Let me agree with Professor and add something. What is public participation? How many people do you need? Show me anywhere in this constitution. I'm now writing like a Ugandan judge who said, show me anything in the Uganda constitution that tells me that when I've done my work, I should pass it to the CJ to read through. Show me anywhere how many people were limited for the public participation.
Oh, yes.
How many do you need? What is it that you call public participation? It's not there. The law silent. Now, that's why when you take the case of public participation on a judge who has not gone to good school of law can award the other side because there was no public participation. You could be 2 of us, 3 of us, 6.
And
we are Kenyans.
Yes.
Miriam, Matanga, Utawish, and a group here on the panel. We go beyond, we have participated at different days. Let's come to the real. Who is Chebukati? Who pays Chebukati's salary? Who decides how much Chebukati should get? Who makes the law which Chebukati should follow? Parliament. What is the role of is to name constituency? It's just to name. CC, the government can say, we want 200 constituencies. Okay? And they go to the other man who was in the parliament. What is the population of Isiolo? What is the population of this? That man is the deciding factor.
The director.
Yes. Who will say, Juja constituency has 300,000 people. We need to divide it into 3. And that was what was done. So what Chebukati is coming to do at the parliament is stupidity.
Yes.
Because Chebukati and Ruto are the same. You people are failing to knock that point home. I don't know whether Tawish was going to knock it home. These are 2 people. They are the same. They are telling him, you saw how Chebukati, if we didn't blow the story of the third way alliance, they were buying signatures to come and put a bill before parliament. Who paid for that third way alliance? Ruto. He paid 20 million shillings to a Kure court. How many counties passed the Third Way Alliance bill? 2. Ruto's county and Turkana. Where has it gone? When we blew up the story on Punchline with facts and the photographs and the videos, where Chebukati was meeting a court in a hotel, did you see that thing come back again?
Never. He died a natural death.
Chebukati
fizzled out.
Should not touch your elections. Chebukati fears to go home. And what is going to take Chebukati home is this constituency is fumbling about. And the last Chebukati is buying time, Jamel. You will be knocked up by the law in the court. He wants to take the government to the court by saying time limit. We did these boundaries outside the time needed. I did not have it is 6 months prior. You name the constituency, register the voters, and assign it a code. So what he's trying to do is to frustrate the BBI arrangement of the amendment so that they name the constituency. When it comes around, they say, I'm not ready to write the question to the Republic of Kenya. The time is not there unless you go back and amend the dates of when an election can be held. I'm telling you, that's where we are heading, Tawish. That's where we are heading. And don't think that I'm telling you something that I have not been following. We are heading towards that route. Time is going to come when Chebukati will say we are time bound. We can't hold a referendum. We can hold it in 2022. And that will be the end. And these guys will come to parliament to eat him. They will sack him. And then he causes a crisis. That's what Ruto, that's how Ruto works. If you didn't know. Ruto uses money and the brain he has. Frustrate people. Yeah, he look at Machakos. How much money was thrown there? 1 million, 100 million. Over 100 million shillings. It's money and just to compete. And the money is being paid by Waindi who fear. Go, where, enter. You know, people bring 20 million, 5 million, 6 million. You can't run a state like that. No.
But Dr. Even if that was the case, assuming that was the case, I mean, Dr. William Ruto has been going through what I will refer as a popularity diagnosis. He's tried it in Matungu, he's tried it in Kabuchai, he's tried it in several other ward by-elections, and now in Machakos senatorial by-election. And I think the results are out. It's up to him to really rethink and maybe go back to the drawing board and ask himself whether really he's popular as he's used to say. Because again, with these results we have now, it clearly tells you that William Ruto is just riding on an non-existent euphoria. Because again, he does not have the supporters. In any case, Dr. Masanga, how else can you actually give the kind of support that one has if it's not through such kind of competitions, through such kind of democratic processes like this by elections? I mean, it's evident from what we have seen in Machakos. It was evident in Kabuchai. It was evident in Matungu. And I think this is just a litmus test. It's telling us what is going to come in 2022. William Ruto, it is time for him to go back to the drawing board and think about the people he's been moving around with, the likes of Senator Mudama, the likes of Hassan Omar. In fact, the people who are bidding for his life at the ICC, you remember Dr. Masanga, about these same individuals that is now riding with and think that he can get support from. The likes of Boni Halwale, the man you say that anytime he works with you, just know that your goose is cooked and you don't have to hope for. So, I mean, Dr. William Ruto has nothing really to hope for, has nothing in terms of popularity, and it's evident from the kind of by-elections that we have had so far, Dr. Masanga. Moving forward to 2022, that is just but a litmus test.
All right. Thank you so much. I'd like Douglas to say something on this matter before we move on. Douglas, the issues that IEBC is raising now, which they did not raise, by the way, when they had their own time to participate and give their views there to the BBI committee.
Thank you, Miriam. And we need to understand that the people of Kenya are supreme. I would agree with other panelists. And all sovereignty, the Constitution of Kenya, actually, Chapter 1, Article 1 says that all sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya, and they can exercise that power directly or indirectly through representatives. In this case, the people of Kenya have decided on the way they shall go. And in this case, Chebukati is a creation of the people of Kenya. Miriam, I want to remind you that we had DCK that we disbanded in 2007. We brought Independent Electoral Commission that we disbanded. And also now, we are actually, we are now pushed to the wall. We need to disband IEBC and have another body. It is the will of the people of Kenya to do what they want with their lives. It is their mandate. It is directly given by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. You can never pre-exist the people. Chebukati wants to pre-exist the people of Kenya as if he's not a creation of the people of Kenya. IEBC is a creation of the people of Kenya. And that power, we derive it from the Constitution. Actually, the Constitution serves the whims and whims of the people of Kenya. Chebukati is a person that we need to understand at this point. He needs to be given a leeway, to be forgiven, and also to be sanitized so that he can know exactly what the people of Kenya want and what they want to do. And when the people of Kenya have decided that they want extra constituencies, it is not in Chebukati to know that, Miriam. Back to the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Chapter 1, Article 1. When the people of Kenya have decided to take that mandate from the hands of Chebukati and put it into their hands directly, it means the function that we have given Chebukati constitutionally, we have taken it and we want to exercise it directly at the ballot. Nobody can challenge us our authority as the people of Kenya. Miriam, the people of this country have decided they want extra constituencies. They want the Youth Commission. They want that 5% anchored in the Constitution. Chebukati cannot talk about illegality as far as the people of Kenya are concerned, Miriam. Constitution is a living document. It has to live to us our aspirations, our queens and wants as the people of Kenya. Number one, this mandate that we have given the IEBC and also their chairman and also their commissioner and also even the sweep at IEBC is at the mercy of the people of Kenya because the sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya. Constitution itself cannot pre-exist the people of Kenya. Chebukati himself cannot pre-exist the people of Kenya. In conclusion, Miriam, this constitutional illegality that Chebukati talks about, he was not consulted. We have no time consulting a man that serves us. We are the bosses. A servant cannot be able to preempt their boss. For example, whoever I work for, I cannot be able to give them instructions. I have to pick instructions from the people who employ me. The people of Kenya have employed IEBC and the Chebukati. And we want to also reform IEBC so that we cannot go to elections without IEBC. We want to reform it and remove Chebukati, a man who wants to preempt the people of Kenya. The Constitution itself cannot pre-exist us as a people. We want to shape our country the way we want. We don't want to consult Chebukati because we are the people. We have the power. The sovereignty belongs to us. We can exercise it directly to the ballot the way we want. So the question of consulting Chebukati as the chairman of the Independent and Electoral Commission, IEBC, is a problem that we need to tell Chebukati the truth. The mandate is with the people of Kenya. It is directly under the hands of the people of Kenya. We, as a people, we have the opportunity to exercise it directly without talking to IEBC, without talking to anyone, because we are the people. And the referendum is something that we want as a people. We don't want to talk to Chebukati. So Chebukati and his team need to sit down and chill. They need to chill because at the end of the day, we the people have employed Chebukati. At the end of the day, this IEBC, Miriam, is a creation of the people of Kenya. And if we decide tomorrow to have another commission to lead us in this country, we shall have it. Chebukati will not be there. We shall have it and put whoever we want there, Miriam. Thank you.
All right. Very well.
And first of all, before you go to another topic, let Chebukati return the sitting per diem which he collected when he went to the BBI committee. He took a full delegation. They must have collected allowances. They spent time there. They said they are out, going to meet the panel. Can he return that money first? If he says, what did he go there to do? What did he go to the panel to do? How do you come back, Miriam, unless you are a wizard? Unless you are a wizard, you have been told that this river is very deep. But because you are a wizard, you want to test your magic by jumping in it. It will take you. That is exactly what Chebukati is trying to do. He's trying to jump into something which to frustrate us. He just wants to frustrate Uhuru Kenyatta. And there is nothing to beat about the bush. No way. It's frustrating the president so that, just give it about 1 month or 2 months. Chebukati is going to wake up and say, the time limit for holding a referendum is over. Is over. I cannot process the documents to be able to hold the referendum as constitutionally wanted. That is the time when Kenyans are going to blow up that tower place. He has underestimated people. So the idea, I warned these people, you people Kenyans a long time ago, that Chebukati is a very dangerous man. Chebukati is George Soros. The girlfriend, Akombe, has returned very safely in Kenya. She said Kenya was very bad. She said Uhuru Kenyatta was killing people. But when she came back at the airport, Uhuru Kenyatta did not kill her. Akombe, she's back now. You are aware she's around here. She's now the head of some silly things in Addis Ababa. But she's now, before she takes that post, she's busy on Twitter here in Kenya. They have now started meeting again to strategize how to dismember this country and take it into chaos. If you look at Akombe's Twitter handle, and I want all of you to look at what she writes, you will see what Chebukati talks is exactly Akombe's words. So for me, I've been watching Miriam. We did an expose here of the IEBC with videos. I showed them here how he was meeting people to buy signatures. So if you think I was wrong, where is that second bill that they wanted to table in Parliament? Didn't we spoil their food? We did. Thank you.
All right, very well. And we get to our next topic, and that is on the Kenya-Somalia maritime boundary dispute. And Kenya yesterday, Dr. made submissions there at the International Court of Justice in the Netherlands. So let me just read a bit of that. Kenya
submitted.
Kenya, yes, has defended its decision to withdraw from the ongoing oral hearings of the Kenya-Somali maritime case at the International Court of Justice, citing procedural unfairness. In the latest development, Kenya has informed the court that any insistence on its participation in the proceedings defeats Kenya's right to a fair hearing. According to a brief from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kenya has collected and continues to collect substantial additional evidence in the matter. Information, it says, it will be of value only if Kenya is given ample opportunity to prepare for the proper and effective presentation to the court. According to Nairobi, the current timelines and in the context of the coronavirus pandemic have not afforded Kenya such opportunity. Kenya has also informed the court over what it says are influential third-party commercial interests that are fueling the case that threatens to destabilize the peace and security of an already fragile region. Kenya questioning the speed at which the matter was rushed before the court and the players involved in the dispute, which it says points to a well-orchestrated strategy of pitting the countries against each other in total disregard to the precarious security situation in the region. So through the Ministry of I don't think Kenya yesterday, I think, was it Yeah, I think the Star carried the story here on their front pages. Somalia, ICJ border, now Kenya to address court today, reject proceedings. So I don't know if it did virtually there. So, but Kenya continues to take the stand it has and giving its reason and defending its reasons as to why it it withdrew from that case. So I'll start with you, Professor, as we conclude, and then Doctor will conclude for us.
Thank you, Miriam. We have discussed this matter very exhaustively from this week and from the previous week. And Miriam, let me just tell you this. United Nations Security Council is to ensure that there is peace and security in the region. That's what comes number one. It's not even that boundaries you are talking about. It is peace and security in the region. So they should not run away. They must ensure that, yes, what we are doing, Miriam, there's sometimes, it is good, Miriam, to be right, but it is good to be happy. So it is you to choose between your happiness and your right. If you choose your right, Miriam, is well, but you are unhappy. So sometimes you can do away with your right so long as you are happy and life goes on. So on this one, the Kenya have gotten it right. They have listened to us, Miriam. And I can assure you, Miriam, let me just give you a very good example from where I come. You know, Randy is very scarce. You can't go to a bank, take a collateral using the family's security title deed, and then you divorce, and then the bank comes to sell. I don't want to tell you, Miriam, what will happen. The police and those who will be ringing the bell that they want to sell land, they will not be there to tell the story what happened. So the ICJ court will go make all the kind of ruling that they want to make. But I'm telling you, the relationship of Somalia and the Kenya, which we have enjoyed for so many years, is not going to be the same. See the kind of challenges we are having with the terrorists, with Al-Shabaab. See what Kenya has taken, Miriam, to ensure that there is stability in Somalia, Miriam. Where are our soldiers, the Kenya Defense Forces? They're in Somalia, Miriam. So on this, Miriam, I don't even know why Kenya is wasting time. Wasting time, Miriam, to go that you are going to do a presentation. Dr. Masanga has said it here and we have said here. The moment that you have notified the court, because of the procedural way the case was filed in court, the insistence of a Somali judge, Miriam, to sit on the bench, those are just enough grounds. You just go, have your ruling, come with it. Let us see how you are going to implement. It is going to be a prolonged conflict for so many years. And I don't think that is the interest of United Nations, African Union, and even the Somali people of Kenya. It is only the rights of Almajo who are so corrupt that they want to go and auction the blocks which belong to Kenya. And we have said, Miriam, I have given a very, I don't know whether people are listening to what we are saying. We did not make these boundaries, Miriam. Kenya was not involved, Somalia was involved. Why don't we ask those ones? The colonial master, Britain is there, Italians who colonized part of Somalia, Miriam, and they want the partition. Why can't we go the maps and there? And these are the kind of evidence Kenya is correcting, Miriam. And that is very well. What is the hurry for? It is rather we go slow and we get it right. If the maps and the evidence will show that the land belongs to Somalia, Miriam, what are we going to lose? We have not lost anything because we have not exploited the resources. What if the maps will say it is Kenya? They are going to lose nothing because the land belongs to Kenya. So Miriam, on that one, I am with Kenya, and they should not spend more time now going to the court. Once they have notified the court, they are not going to be part of it. I hope our recommendation here is they should move a notch high and report this matter in the United Nations Security Council for final arbitration and Miriam on the way forward.
All right, very well. And while giving its final submissions there, Somalia asked the ICJ to reject Kenya's claim of established acquiescence, determine complete course of the maritime boundary and between the countries, and adjudge Kenya violated international obligations and make full reparation to Somalia. Already made its final submissions. So right now, the judges are preparing their ruling. Tawish. Javen.
I wish she's gone.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for the opportunity. And one thing, Miriam, we must agree is that Kenya took a very bold decision to ensure they don't participate in a case proceeding where justice was not seen to be done, where they were already victimized, and where they have a judge of Somali origin being the part of the panel that is listening to this hearing this case. Therefore, that to me, justice was not to be delivered in favor of Kenyans, and not in favor of Kenya, but justice was not to be delivered at all. One, Miriam, the court refused some vital requirements that Kenya requested, and that is to have additional evidences to the extension of the hearing, and so that Kenyans can prepare adequately to ensure that they will be able to have a bargaining power. They will be able to present their case in a much bigger and weighty way than what we already have. Therefore, that courts have been trying by all means to creep the evidences, to creep the process, to ensure that they favor the people of Somali. To some extent, the people of Somali, they have already auctioned their oil blocks. They have already done business with Norway and other countries. Therefore, when you look at this issue, they want to come. That is why they have been silent for the last 40 years or so, since independence. Now, because they see Kenyans' rich minerals and resources, ocean, maritime resources. That is why they want to come and interfere with our peace and our prosperity, because at the end of the day, if they happen to win the case, if they happen to interfere with us, Miriam, they might move from the issue of the water to the land. Therefore, Miriam, we need as a country to ensure that we protect what belongs to us and what rightfully belongs to us. We can't sit plenty as a country and allow our country to be interfered with in terms of some people getting what does not belong to them. Therefore, in conclusion, we Kenyans have done a lot to ensure that we maintain the diplomatic ties with the Somali. We have done a lot to ensure that we pacify peace in Somali, to ensure that they have a good and environment to carry on with their business by ensuring that we eradicate the menace of Al-Shabaab. But it seems that Somali is an ungrateful child, that when you take her to school, he comes back and wants to own the land by force that belongs to their parent. Therefore, that one will not happen. Therefore, in conclusion, Kenya should move swiftly and present the matter at UN, because that is where it seems that we'll get maybe an advisory sign where Kenyans maybe will sit down with Somali to ensure that we settle this issue amicably without relying on the decision that we made by ICJ, because at the end of the day, we will remain neighbors with the Somalis, and we don't want anything that will separate the two countries. But that will happen, and when the government and the leadership of Almajo is not in place, because they are determined to ensure that they cause division, they cause chaos with the Republic of Kenya. That is why he is not determined to ensure that we settle this issue out of ICJ. Thank you.
All right. Very well. Thank you so much, Douglas. Okay. Musa.
Thank you so much, Miriam. A bit the internet is becoming unstable again, but to make my final submission, Miriam, is that let the international community, let the issue of regionalism, Miriam, let, if indeed now it meant that those third-party commercial, states, and dark forces, as Dr. Matsanga has put it, help Somalia now, Miriam. We shall see how the things shall be unfolding. We are now on the predicament, Miriam, of seeing if indeed the neighbors and the people from far away, in the name of Gulf Council, in the name of Norway, in the name of France, if they are going to be available here for you, Miriam, if in the times of need, you need your neighbor, Miriam. Now the issue is with the International Court of Justice. Let their hearing be presided over. Kenya is going to take the different precedents of taking the issue to the United Nations Security Council, Miriam. And what we are seeing, Miriam, is that we are not in lack of neighbors. If indeed Somalia will decide to take east as it is wishes, we can restrain, we can regain back the good relations we had with Tanzania, Miriam. We remember even in the time Dr. Joseph Pombe Magufuli passed on, Miriam, how one of the first people and the first head of state to take the precedence of respecting the fallen soldier, Miriam, was President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So let the issues be resolved. If indeed they believe now Abdullahi and the International Court of Justice will be resolving to help them, let them think in that, Miriam. Kenya has a lot of issues to handle. We have the Tigray region issues to solve. We have the issue of South Sudan to solve. We have a lot of, phenomenal issues around, COVID-19, and even as far as ensuring that, countries continue with their normal relations as far as, the side of Uganda and Tanzania is concerned. Miriam, I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Doctor, conclude for us. Doctor, are you there?
Miriam, there is a wish under Douglas.
All right. Oh, Douglas. I think Douglas has. Have you?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Douglas. Sorry.
Thank you, Miriam. One thing we need to understand is that Kenya cannot participate in whatever seems to be an upper hand case towards the people of Somalia because of the compromises and the biases that have been happening at ICJ. And the best bet for Kenya to do is to go the way of the United Nations Security Council. And at the end of the day, Miriam, what we need to do with the people of Somalia is to de-escalate from what we are seeing today. Mohamed Farmajo will go, like his uncle went, Siad Barre in 1991. And the people of Somalia will remain, and the people of Kenya will remain. We have coexisted as a people for so long, for us to be divided by something that is a gift from God that we didn't know is in Indian Ocean. The other day, I was amused to understand that the people in Somalia are getting trained every day. 1,000 people are getting trained into the army for them anticipating a war with Kenya. Kenya cannot fight with Somalia physically. We are already in a war. We are engaged in a war at the ICJ. And at the end of the day, this republic will defend their people, their honor, and their dignity. And at the end of the day, what we need to do, even as we head to the United Nations Security Council, the issue in Indian Ocean, Miriam, cannot bring the enmity that Mohamed Farmajo and the cabar of leaders who are supporting him and the resource-greedy Western allies who are supporting Mohamed Farmajo in Somalia cannot continue degrading this country and taking us to war because of the resources in Indian Ocean. What is happening is a clear path that has been taken by these European countries and also some Asian countries to continue stealing from us as a people. These Arab countries who want to steal from us, people like Qatari and also Turkey and Norway and others, they want to steal our resources in Indian Ocean, Miriam. For the people of Kenya and Somalia to continue coexisting together as neighbors, for our own ambitions as a people, we need to share the resources in Indian Ocean. We need to look for a way Kenya can be able to de-escalate, Somalia de-escalate, so that we can be able to share the resources in Indian Ocean, Miriam. Because before we didn't know that these resources were there. Why is Somalia not respecting the international territorial waters of Kenya today? Because there has been found oil in Indian Ocean today. Today, Kenya respects the maritime border with Tanzania. And if they discover that there is oil there, it belongs to the people of Tanzania. But these people in Indian Ocean, the Somali people, and also the cabar of readers who are reading them to the grave, they are reading them to the grave because what we are experiencing, Miriam, is mischief from the people of Somalia, read by their reader, Mohamed Farmajo, and the cabar of readers who advise him. And the Western resource grid areas. We need to de-escalate and find the way forward. And the way forward is to share these resources like other regions have shared. They belong to Kenya, yes, but we can be able to share with the people of Somalia so that we can de-escalate and come from the high horse that we are all riding. Kenya is riding their own, supported by other allies, Somalia and Mohamed Faramajo on the other hand. We cannot do that to our people because of a few leaders in Somalia who don't want to engage in a meaningful dialogue or an agreement that shares these resources, Miriam, to our people and to our benefit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, Somalia made its final submissions there yesterday. Kenya sent its a press conference through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there, through the Office of the Attorney General, I think, did not make its oral submissions there yesterday at the International Court of Justice. All right, Samuel Tavish, your final submission.
Well, Miriam and the rest of the panelists, I think I want to fully concur with the submissions that have been made by the entire panel today in as regards to everything virtually that we have discussed, and more so on this topic of Somalia and Kenya maritime dispute, whose case is actually before the International Court of Justice. What I want to say is that the International Court of Justice must actually live up to its name, because as it is now, it is not. It is not that avenue within which we are pursuing justice. It is an avenue or a forum which seems to be biased, which seems to be partial against Kenya in as far as this case is concerned. Therefore, Kenya's view as regards to the proceeding of this case is actually genuine and legitimate. And I think we cannot start on the wrong footing and say, let's continue nonetheless, regardless of how the process has been from the word go. Because again, when it comes to the issue of consent, when it comes to the issue of process, when it comes to the issue of having a conflict of interest, having a Somali national actually being one of the judges in these particular cases, these are some of the issues that actually Kenya has raised before this court, asking maybe more time or asking the right procedure to be followed before it can fully participate in this particular case. But what I want to submit as I finalize is that we need to have a broader approach in terms of diplomatic engagement, lobbying, like Dr. Masanga usually puts it, so that we can have a negotiated kind of approach towards finding a lasting solution in this particular conflict. Because again, Kenya and Somalian people are not just ready to differ or quarrel or to engage in any other conflict simply because of this maritime dispute. We are people who have been staying together as brothers and sisters. We have been staying together as neighbors. We've been helping one another. In fact, Somalia has really benefited a lot out of Kenya's goodwill in as far as pacifying and stabilizing Somalia. They have paid the ultimate price, including resources and the personnel in this pursuit. And therefore, it will be ungrateful of Somalia to try and pursue it in that direction, because again, the resolution that is likely to be made at the ICJ, much as it will be binding to them, but again, how will it impact on our relationship between Kenya and Somalia? I mean, we need to look at it from that perspective, because again, our relationship is more important than the maritime dispute that we're actually experiencing at the sea. Miriam, I want to submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Doctor, conclude it for us.
Thank you very much. For the whole week, we have seen Somalia conflict maritime with Kenya. But I want to submit. The key word that stands out is consent. That's all. Consent. Where was it? Did Kenya consent to go to the maritime ICJ? Did Somalia, and has Somalia ever written a letter? Can it prove one single letter that it ever wrote that we are coming and we want you to go? We have failed, or we sat down and we collapsed agreement, therefore we are coming before the ICJ. A piece of facto. Today I'm going to be very serious, Mr. Musa. As my student, you better listen. A piece of facto. The enemy of one's enemy may be a piece of facto, a friend. Tawish, Professor Douglas, Japan, and Miriam, plus Musa. Maybe you can make conclusion for yourselves. maybe the only route left for Kenya at the moment, which they should have started much earlier, is through the United Nations Security Council. Chapter 7 of the United Nations. Article 39. In my final submission over this matter, and let Kenyan hear me, let the government hear me. You have delayed. Don't waste time with people, nothing doers. Pick up your briefcases. I know Professor is laughing. Pick your briefcases and get out. Go to the UN table. The problem at the UN, we don't want a war. Tell them Matanga said, we don't want a war. Matanga saw like a trigger. Very far, I told you. I've written letters there. Guterres can't say he doesn't have my letters because letters these days are coded. They are coded, barcode. He has them. I've warned of a war. A very powerful war in Indian Ocean. That once you make any stupidity, have you seen the stupid statements coming from these stupid judges who were collected from which are these? They are called Malaya's dens. What are these in Amsterdam?
Hotels.
Red Square. That judge from America is from Red Square. Look at her hair. Be careful. Don't waste time with Red Square operatives. Let's go to where the problem is. The problem is chapter 7. This sea has been there for years and millions of years. Have we quarreled with Somalia because there is oil in the Indian Ocean? Have we ever quarreled with Somalia because if we had known there was oil in the Indian Ocean, we should have started quarreling a long time ago. We now want peace. Somalia wants peace. Kenya wants peace. Let Somalia listen to me today. And I'm not going to speak about this thing anymore. You, Farimajo, open your ears. You have big ears, but you don't hear. Open them today. Farimajo, I'm telling you, you are an African like us. You are an African like us. Why most of us are making this noise? Because we don't want you to go the alley of destruction. Remove this case from where it is, withdraw, and come back and talk. If you have now discovered something that is tickling the enemy of your enemy, who could be a friend, a piece of factor. Have you seen that, Musa? Musa, Tawish, students of high caliber Douglas, a piece of factor. You don't see Somalia. Pull your socks. Take out this whole thing from the ICJ. Come and sit on table, frankly, and say, now this thing, we don't want a war. Do you want a war? Who wants a war in Indian Ocean? Those guys will be the first people to now stand against you. An enemy of your one's enemy is a piece of factor of my friend, of a friend. Remember my words, Farimaju. If you understand English, understand it this way. The enemy of one's enemy may be a piece of factor a friend. Don't rely on those people. Rely on the advice I'm giving you. Take this thing out of there. It doesn't pay Somalia. It doesn't pay the Somali population. It doesn't pay a country that is pained by anguish of terrorism. Kenya has a root, and that root is in the Security Council. Under Article 39 of the General Assembly of the United Nations Charter, if there is a threat to peace, that Turkey is arming Somalia, we have picked all the intelligence. Jet fighters are being bought, new ones that will come from Ankara in Turkey, and bomb Kenya, and bomb anything in Indian Ocean. It becomes a threat to peace. A regional peace, international peace. Therefore, both countries must come to a table, arbitrate, sit down, watch, discuss, agree, drink water, come back, drink water, talk and talk until what we in peace and conflict resolution, I and others who have studied it, call a solution. It is God that way, Miriam, and that solution comes. Professor Gerard Onyari will agree with me that we need a solution. We need a solution, not a retribution. We need no retribution. The judgment will create chaos in the region. The judgment is not worth it. There was no consent. We should have not gone that route. Had Somalia got the leaders who think for this continent of Africa, I submit.
All right, thank you so much. And that is where we end our show today. We've looked at varied of issues there, starting from continued condolences and remembering the now late president of Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli, who, according to the reports that we have received, he will be buried on the 25th this month. And starting tomorrow, government officials will pay their last respect. And then on 21st, there will be a chance for the people to pay their respect in Dar es Salaam, on the 22nd in Dodoma, and on the 23rd in Chato. And perhaps on our Africa Showdown show on Sunday, we might want to look at President Magufuli's nationalistic agenda. Remember, he followed, if you checked his way of leadership, he really followed into the footsteps of the founding father there, Julius Nyerere. So what was he able to achieve then, and how did that work out for him? And as we speak right now, Tanzania has a new president, the sixth president of the United Republic of Tanzania there, who was sworn in earlier on today, Samia Suluhu Hassan. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.